Okay. We're recording.
You already got our characters out?
Oh, yes.
Gracias.
Everything's out. We are ready to rumble.
You guys don't know, but I still do.
Okay,
Look at
that's
this
fine.
20. Where's that a 1? Oh, God,
I
no.
see it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see.
I think the skull is a 1 and the
Ooh.
dragon symbol is a 20.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I don't see why the skull would be the 20.
Well, let's
Skulls are
Because it's
typically bad.
strawed.
Well, because a 20 should be bounded by the 2, the 8, and the 14.
Right.
And the 1 should be the 13,
Oh,
19, and 7.
That's empty.
Yeah, so that's the 1. Nice. Would you like to catapult Strahd?
Yes. You get in line. You guys have created a monster.
Hey. Oh, you got the nat. Was that the 18? Nice.
You're gonna land it in Mariah's dice tray.
So long as it's not in my ginger ale.
But
Okay.
it's just he launches a D4 into the ginger ale.
We're not getting that back. You got a can opener?
You okay with reading my results over there? let me know what I roll.
Here. We got it mounted.
Jesus.
Oh,
Sure. Oh no.
came
I need
unslotted.
to repair.
That's a critical fail.
That's what happens when you get a nat 1. Your cannon misfires.
Nice.
We may have created a monster, and I'm perfectly fine with this.
There's your nat 1.
There it is.
Alright.
Woo! 14.
This is good.
As you're making your little things, you explode.
No, not yet. I was just playing. I wasn't trying to tempt fate.
Tries to launch this, breaks catapult.
Yeah, I don't think that would work. I think there's too much heft behind that.
Too much heft.
85.
Why is the 3 in there?
Just one I grabbed.
Alright, dice gremlin. I didn't think we had split cats.
You never know.
Just so you know, Loch
I'll try to find a use for those too.
has some
Alright, any toy
badass
costs?
abilities.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I was reading up all the stuff Loch can do now.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. I'm gonna step and get some stuff I forget.
Have fun playing my character.
Oh yeah.
And as the DM, she can
Always.
make it so that Loch doesn't die.
I mean, it is a dream sequence. I don't think we die.
Yeah, but he did
You wanna
say
tempt fate?
that we're okay to get cursed. So if you die in here. then
Oh,
we're
he did?
cursed.
I did
Yes,
say
he
that.
did say that.
Fuck!
Yeah.
Okay, there's one time I'm saying now that you can't do that.
Do what?
There's a purposeful death coming.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So one time, and you'll know. Okay?
Okay.
Because it's the only way that I could think of to do things.
You really like
So you can't punish us for me having to do something.
You gonna have Trey do it again too?
Move aside.
Am I your weapon of choice?
Maybe.
Maybe you're the one with like the least perception, so you're just the easiest to
No, I'm
do.
the one with the lowest wisdom saves.
Exactly.
Perpetually.
Yeah, I mean, it was just luck that he ended up being the person last time.
Oh, at this point, I don't think me and my low wisdom saves are luck. I think I'm cursed.
I thought you were at 204.
No, you aren't
Do I
cursed. Creed
have
was
everything
cursed.
open?
Did you change anything? Yeah, because we were talking about it, and I'm at 203.
I could have been at 204 when we make it, yeah.
Well, I have more hit points than you now.
Did everybody get a chance to watch the video?
Not yet.
I'm not.
I listened to it this weekend.
See, haven't seen my
I'm afraid
little
now.
things in there.
No.
Yeah. He's
Did
got
you
like
see it?
he's got representations of Johansson.
Yeah, I have to show you guys now
Oh,
so
gosh.
I'm excited.
so you understand what Emyr
Because
sees.
normally I watch it on Mondays, but
Mm-hmm.
so I'm refreshed just before we go on Tuesday. But
We were gone all
Boy,
weekend. We
you've
haven't
been
done.
missing out.
And this morning we were watching Critical Role.
so I didn't even think about it this weekend. Besides, I was feeling like crud.
Well, if you ever wonder what Emyr sees when he sees Johansson.
Jesus Christ.
I'm so excited.
So excited. Oh god.
There's Johansson for you. There's Johansson.
I mean, that tracks.
I heard Kylo Ren has an 8-pack.
And then John, the gold man. You know, the dragon?
Yep.
That we named John.
We?
Yeah.
Did I name him?
No.
It was me.
There's your gold man.
He said that he was above names, so I gave him one.
Yeah. So
Oh,
we
yes,
named
I
him
remember.
John. So,
John Jacob Jingleheimer.
Of course, you had to give him the most basic name.
I have my backstory all figured out. It totally makes sense.
Your backstory?
For Ivonava?
yeah, she did
Oh.
say
I said
she
I
named him
I
after a
named him
childhood
after
friend.
childhood friend.
It'd help if you watch the video.
It would help. You're right.
That's why I do all that hard work.
And I usually watch them. I just couldn't this time.
I promised myself I wouldn't cry.
Well, you broke your promise, didn't you? It's okay. You've got a catapult
There's
now.
no tears yet. 18. Okay.
Has like an 86
All right, do we
pills.
have
Right?
to do we have to review anything before we restart?
Do we all remember?
Dream sequence, we're at level 20. We are going to a kingdom.
We're going to the capital of Aharuth.
Yeah.
Yeah, we woke up in this weird castle.
Yep.
I insulted the owner of the castle, and then he
times.
gave us this mission because his minions went missing.
Yep.
And when we left the castle, we did some reconnaissance and found a town.
Scared the
We found
living
the-
shit out of a child.
Yeah, some of the townspeople not so crazy about us, but we
And we are
met up with a
guards.
couple of guards. The lead guard was Johansson, and we built a camp before leaving, and then got attacked by a dragon. And
Maybe.
one of us talked the dragon down, and now we are in a carriage, flying Millennium Falcon style. Is that right? Is that like,
Basically, yes.
Well, at the end, we
Yeah.
arrived. We were there.
Yes.
So at the very
So-
end, we arrived.
Well,
at-
so-
I
It
am
only took 34 minutes.
retroactively fixing a statement that I made last time, and I didn't catch it. I didn't think about it till later. So I made the comment that the trip would have taken 4 hours.
You said
The trip-
4 days. I have it on.
I have it. Okay, 4 days.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good then.
Then Emyr's definitely done. With no use.
Yeah, but you guys got there in like 32 minutes, and you guys don't feel like practically any time has passed.
Okay, can I probably find this on my phone?
What?
So if it's that long, then I need to do something.
I'm so excited.
until it like comes at you.
4!
Ooh, okay.
These things, they happen.
Okay.
We good?
Oh yeah. Oh, we're
All right.
good.
So,
Just waiting for it to happen.
as you guys were traveling and you were moving super fast, even though it didn't feel like you were moving super fast, and things just kind of like seemed to slip by you, everything was kind of glowing as that happened. Like you and everything around you was emitting a soft kind of glow. But as you guys start pulling up to the capital, okay, that glow diminishes and time seems to catch up with you.
Okay.
Okay. Like, do we feel?
I'm like, what are you guys doing?
We're being a
children.
couple.
Okay.
Okay, good.
So, as you guys pull up into the capital, you can immediately see the difference. It's pretty evident to you, the difference between this place and the village you guys came from. Like, this is clearly a very well-established city. It's very large. You guys seem to be traveling through the main part of the capital. And so you're seeing a lot of really nice buildings, really grand decorations, lots of white. As you guys travel up through the center and to the castle that exists in the center of this capital city.
Is that what it's called? Just called as Capital City, or does it have an actual name?
We're just gonna call it the capital city.
Okay.
Because I might have given it a name, but I can't remember.
That's fair.
Okay.
So it's just capital city. It's just the capital of
Baharuth.
Bahadur.
Now, is this what we're seeing from the...
And from the carriage as you guys are
carriage.
riding through the city.
It's like the city of Townsville. It's just this generic name.
Is everybody look happy? Or at least content?
Yeah. At least everyone you're seeing, but you're noticing that the people that you are seeing look pretty well off.
Okay.
So we can't see like any no like really obvious signs of poverty or anything.
Well, you witnessed like a murder or something when you went on your vision quest here, right?
Well, it was that other town.
Yeah, it was a different town
Oh,
that
It
I
was the
went
first
to.
town we encountered.
Okay.
No,
I see.
it wasn't the first town. It was at the larger city, closer to where that
See,
was.
I think
So
I'm
this was a little
confused
further.
about that.
Yeah.
Because we had the one town we had our first encounter, and then there was another town located next to the guardhouse. And that was...
No, that was the
There was
same
a
town,
town.
and just on the other side of town.
So there was a town by,
Ons O'Gown's place.
yeah, but it's the. Did I tell you guys the name of it last time?
Nope.
I don't
You
think
need
so.
the map.
The tome of ah!
It's even got a key.
Why the frick did you do that? Hold on, give me a minute.
Calculating.
Take your time.
Recalculating. Can I see the?
Yeah.
I want to see the.
What? That's my backpack.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the Great Tomb of Nazareth.
I thought I remember hearing that.
It's because it's on the map, so we probably talked about it.
Great.
I
Nazareth.
thought I told you guys the name.
I think you did.
Yeah, so Ainzul Gown lives in the Great Tome of Nazareth. So you guys found the town that is just outside the tome. Okay? And further south of that, on the main road, there is...
Erantal? Is it that
Erantal.
one? Yeah,
Correct.
So that's where I went on that.
Vision Quest.
And I was specifically looking in the seedier parts of town,
Okay.
which is where the guy got.
Yeah, she was in the seedy part. She didn't really go to the nice parts of town. So you guys don't know what the rest of the town was like. Yeah, so you guys pull up to the castle, and there are
Yep, he's fine.
some grand gates with some guards that are standing there. One of the guards that traveled with the set of carriages rides their horse up to the guards, and you guys can see them chatting for a moment, and then the gates open wide. And one of the guards that was stationed at the gate rides ahead of you guys to the castle. And you guys follow him in.
Okay. And Johansson is with us.
Johansson, yes.
With Loch, right?
Yeah.
In the second carriage.
Yep. So the first carriage is...
Ivonava, Aderyn, and Emyr. Mostly because I was going to go in the other carriage, and Ivonava was like, please don't.
Ivonava, Aderyn, Emyr. So are you
He's
in
flying.
the carriage? Oh, he's flying.
Yeah, Ronan's been flying this whole time. At the
Not
sound,
extra like that.
sound of... Or the speed of sound.
Extra's right.
So.
Riding on Falcor.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And this is the area where Jonathan said that that Ainz's men went missing, right? This is the city. We had a conversation with the dragon, and he said that he saw Ainz's men either in this city or maybe it was a different city. I
They were
misunderstood.
they were taken northeast. Was all he could tell you.
Okay.
Which is the general direction that we've gone in,
Yeah.
based on these maps. Assuming the top of the map is north.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, we've gone northeast-ish.
Did I draw the route you guys took?
You did.
Yes.
Cool.
It has the capital city's name. But
Cool.
We can keep calling it the capital city.
Oh, so it did have a name.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't remember the name, so I'm like, it's Capital City.
The city of Capital City. All right. So Knight, where are you taking us?
Do we need Johansson's
hate this stupid
We
thing.
need something to represent Johan.
You know what I hate? When you get that stupid ad that says virus found. And you're like, there's no fucking virus.
Yeah, we'll stop looking at porn. That won't happen. Jesus.
Get one of the pink ones.
They're beautiful.
I like the size difference between Loch and Johansson right now. He comes up like 2 rings.
Okay, what was your question for me? I apologize.
What we
Check
doing
the
here?
tape. Oh, yeah.
Where are you taking us?
Where are you
guys?
taking us?
Who are you
Knight?
taking us to?
Oh. Easy. My boss.
Your boss, okay.
But I wonder who it is you're talking to right now.
Knight?
We're
Oh, that's right.
We're in different
I thought we were.
carriages.
I thought we were in the city though, so I thought we were.
Yeah, you
walking
guys. So you
together.
guys rode the carriages through the city and into
Okay.
the gate, and you guys are in the carriages riding up to the castle.
we
now.
should go on.
I understood.
So
That's
I was
actually-
giving you guys a chance to ask any questions that you had before I give you more.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I thought
No,
you
you're
was
fine.
asking the driver. That's what I thought you were asking. Was the driver?
Who we established has a jaw.
Yep. Yeah. It's definitely not Curse Strahd.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Okay.
He's
I'll just-
always with us.
I guess I'll just enjoy the view. And I'll let my hair down.
Let your hair down.
Getting
Okay.
comfortable. What time of the day is it now? Because we left early in the morning. Was it literally like 34 minutes now?
Yeah, so it's probably like mid-morning right now.
Okay.
But as far as everyone else is concerned, 4 days have passed since you left.
Okay.
Weird.
Okay.
Interesting.
Just to mess with you guys even more.
Fascinating.
But we don't feel like we've been traveling for 4 days, right? Like we're not exhausted, like tired and
No.
hungry and stuff. Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
always a little hungry, but
So we're just
Well, look at your new body. You gotta have fuel to sustain it. You're
Yeah.
probably starving.
It's just 3 extra feet that I never had to account for before.
You're gonna be banging your head on everything.
Hell.
oh, this door's too tall.
No, whenever we get out of the carriage, I also have a question for Johansson.
Yep, I need to stretch
So
these
handsome.
big
Johansson.
legs.
So handsome.
I'm not trying to piss off the DM.
You called him Johansson.
What's his real name?
Johannan.
Oh, I actually wrote down
Johansson.
Johansson.
I kept telling you.
It's Johannan.
It's okay.
Oh.
I remember these things. It's okay.
He's gonna turn on us. He's the one that's gonna cause the TPK.
Where is it? Where's the DM is always taking notes?
I think it's number 6 or something. No. Yeah.
Oh yeah, never put out loud of God's listening and taking notes.
Yeah, it's that one.
Where'd you get that?
What the heck?
Never know when you're gonna
I
need
was
it.
not prepared for that.
Never leave home without it.
Just like my dice catapult.
Okay, so since you guys seem to be good with all that's going on,
Objectively.
objectively. So what are you doing? Because I actually have to know what you're doing.
Me, I'm just flying over the city on Rhunon, following the carriage.
So you've tried to follow over the gate.
Yes.
Cool.
Oh no. I'm in danger.
Roll a dex save for me.
How did that bounce out of my dice tray?
Because you're bad at this.
You're making fun of her last week.
You just did it again.
You
Good
need
head.
one of these.
You guys are meant for each other.
Yeah.
Oh
God.
Plus 11, so dirty 20.
Okay. So you...
Do I need to roll for Rhunon as well?
yes.
Oh,
That'd
oh,
probably be a
boy.
good idea.
It's gonna be bad. Excuse me.
You were making fun of me for that last week.
Yeah, because you rolled
Under the fridge, yeah. Talent.
Jackson boy.
19 for Rhunon.
Okay, so you guys are good. So essentially what's going to happen is you tried to follow them through the gate, and as you get up to the border of the gate, Rhunon, feels a force as he's trying to pass over the gates, and basically slams into what feels like a wall. And he and you just barely managed to stay up in the air. But he's not feeling so good.
You're like one of those birds that hit a window. Just...
You've been
In fact, he's
stunned.
going to take 2 bludgeoning damage.
That's fair.
Because he hit with his head.
Alright, we went face first on that, bud. Let's go through the gate. Ow, my face.
Alright, so what do you do then?
I'm going down to the gate and trying to follow them.
You go up to the gate as they're closing as they're trying to close the gates, and the guard's like, "Who are you? What are you trying to do?"
I'm with them. I'm trying to follow them.
And one of the guards look behind him, and he blows a whistle.
It's a nice whistle.
And as he does, one of the guards that was following the caravan looks back, and he goes like this, and the other guard's like, and then he's like, "Okay, fine, you can come in." He's like, "But keep the dragon on the ground."
You know there's a wall up there?
Yes.
Like
Could we
a
hear
wall
this
above the
commotion?
wall?
Everybody knows that.
I'm new here.
Could we hear that commotion? Like in the carriage?
Roll perspective or perception. It's a perspective.
18.
Dirty 20.
Yes, you guys hear it.
Alright, I'm gonna stick
In fact, you can all but feel it.
I'm gonna stick my head out the window and I'm gonna be like,
I'm good! Ish.
sarcastic slow clap.
As you are walking by the gate, you hear the guard yelling at you again, and keep it on the ground!
Might want to walk through it. We run to catch up.
Okay.
Like
I'm
a
just
cat.
imagining you flying.
Tracks.
It seems about right.
It just looked like empty air.
Of course it would. This is why you have to work your way up. This is why automatically being level 20 doesn't work.
I love this. So I'm getting a little pop-up, and it doesn't want to go away when I click cancel. It says Trojan virus detected. Remove now, okay, or cancel.
What are you on?
My iPad. And then I'm looking, and then I looked at the top, the title on this little notification. Win32 data breach. I'm not on a Windows device.
Sounds alright.
Like, guys, doesn't work. So yes, distraction averted. So now you guys have pulled up to the steps of the castle. The guards are opening the carriage doors. They're getting off their own horses, opening the carriage doors for you guys. And they motion for you all to step out. And you see that there is a small group of people standing at the top of the steps. There's about 3 of them.
I'm gonna lean over to Johannan real quick and be like, is there anything we should know before we meet your boss? Like, behavior-wise, should we bow? Should we...
You're demons. Are you really concerned about that? And he seems genuinely surprised.
Believe it or not, don't normally look like this. So yeah, I am.
As long as you don't curse in his face, I think you'll be okay.
Emyr's looking around, just like looking at the surroundings, sort of to see.
Okay, so right in front of you is obviously a very large castle. It is pretty large. And as much as I say castle, it's probably a little more like a palace than a castle, if you know the difference.
Okay.
So nicer walls. It's
Built more for
painted
luxury, not
yeah, it's
for
luxury.
defense.
Luxury more than defense. You can see terraces and whatnot up on the higher floors. What you came through a central road that cuts from the gate straight up to the castle.
Okay.
And you guys are basically sitting at a roundabout.
Okay.
Because you guys go down the road and then you go one way around the roundabout and then the carriages finish the roundabout and go back out.
Okay.
And there are large gardens on either side of that central entranceway, going all the way up to the front of the building.
Creative.
Yeah, it's just pretty. You do see that there are guards posted sporadically. Like you can see some of them are out on a couple of the terraces.
Are there archers around, like on the walls and stuff?
Not archers. They all carry swords. No archers. You can see that there are several that are posted by this entrance.
Now, to enter the courtyard, do we go through a gate that can be shut, or is it like the street comes up, there's a courtyard, and then there's just a palace in front of it with stairs that lead up to the
Yeah, because the only gate there is the main gate to the palace grounds.
Oh, okay.
Because that's the one that he ran into, the invisible
Yeah, so
wall.
he ran into the gate for the palace. So there's a gate that surrounds the whole palace grounds, and then outside that gate is the town.
Okay.
Which we
And
didn't
you guys did pass a gate going into town.
Did they shut it behind us?
Yeah.
Just the
They
mid-morning.
did. Wait, which gate?
The one to this
Main
palace
city.
grounds.
Oh.
The palace grounds, yes.
I don't want no peasants in there.
I mean, it's a secure
They
location.
let me in here, so it's not entirely accurate.
I know it.
Yeah, but someone vouched for you.
It's true.
Somebody important.
And I look
We have
special
these.
in the unicorn.
Our magic button lets
They
us go
never see a
anywhere.
big black
That didn't work really well with the invisible wall, now did it?
Listen, it doesn't have eyes, so it can't see this.
So these three people,
Huh?
what do they look like?
One of them, they're all very finely dressed. One of them is wearing all black. His clothes are tailored, but they're not very decorative. The other two are wearing more decorative clothing, a little bit more fancy than the other gentlemen, but they all look very well kept, very well to do.
Does anyone, like, do they look old? Like
Yeah,
elders?
they all look like they're in their mid to later years.
Okay.
The three of them, and it's clear that they're standing there waiting for you, but they're not going to approach until you get to the top.
It's a good thing we don't have to wait on short legs today.
These steps are going to be so much easier just so you wait.
Slow it up for us, Rhunon. She got up there too fast.
It's true. I move real speedy like.
Here's the fast little bugger. Okay.
What?
You want to go?
Did you want to ask a question?
No,
Johanna?
I'm just ready to get inside the castle and meet this fucker.
Let's go meet this.
Remember, don't curse in his face, and we'll be
maybe.
fine.
I'm getting it out right now.
That's
Sorry.
fair.
Excellent. You just let it all out.
She's not afraid of anything. She's a god.
She is God.
God's can't down.
Tis canon.
She can't down.
The only thing Emyr's going to remember. I just get this weird sensation that Ivonava is God.
This god.
To me, yes.
Okay. We're walking up them.
Making my way upstairs.
No. Just no. No. Alright. So you guys get to the top. You all walk up there with Johannan. Johannan seems to step in front of you guys, and he greets the three gentlemen at the top of the stairs. And then proceeds to introduce them to you. And you to them. You guys learn that the three gentlemen at the top, one of them is one of the king's stewards. The gentleman that is standing in the front with the plainer clothes, he's one of the stewards. The other two, one of them is an ambassador. They don't tell you from where. He just tells you that he's an ambassador that is that was here greeting the king, and he heard about your arrival, and he was just interested.
We are pretty interesting.
The other gentleman is you guys see is actually carrying a pistol on his side. Not that you guys know what a pistol is.
History check.
Yeah.
I'll say
You might
yeah.
know better than me.
Giant tree.
I said that, and I was like, wait, they shouldn't know what that is.
10.
10. Okay. Yeah, you've got no clue what's on his hip.
Um,
It's a funny looking thing.
Mine's a 15, but keep in mind, as an artificer...
Yeah, so you have an inclination for what's on his hip, but you're not really sure what it would be used for.
Right, so I have an idea of the technology
But you're just
that
not
might
sure
be
it's
in
used.
play.
Right.
What is the mini cannon looking thing?
It's magical. It has arms and legs. This doesn't.
So the pistol carrier, he's who?
The ambassador.
No, he's not the ambassador.
No.
He is the other gentleman,
There's the steward, ambassador, and then...
And the pistol carrying
the
guy.
pistol carrying guy. And they don't really seem to introduce him. They just kind of pass over him.
Can I?
5 check.
So they gave you his name, and they call him. They call him Sir Redheart. Is how they introduced you to him.
Like Hart, H-A-R-T or H-E-A-R-T?
H-E-A-R-T.
Can I get
And that is important.
Can I vibe check just to see if he's somebody who's trying to pass himself off as less important than he really is? You know what I mean?
He's trying to act unimportant, but he's actually very important.
I don't know if I want you to roll perception or not. What was it?
Insight?
Insight. Insight would be the better one. Roll
And
insight.
handle.
14.
14. Okay, you get the sense that he is fairly important. Not necessarily the sense that they're trying to pass it off.
Okay.
I shake hands with each of them, and when we get to Sir Redheart, I said, nice to meet you. My brother was a knight too.
I gotta check something. Stop doing that.
So are we going to see the king?
He tells you, well, as much as I appreciate a knight's service, I am no knight.
But you're a sir. Doesn't that make you a knight by trade? Or is that just in England?
Wherever that might be.
Oh, good heavens.
Is sir not the title for a knight?
Yeah, he's like, England?
It's a far off place.
He's like, a sir is also just a common greeting, at least in these parts, to anybody with title, when their title is unknown. It's more of a familiar greeting rather than a proper one.
So if I might ask, do they not know your title, or are we just not knowing your title?
Do you say that in front of everyone?
Yes.
He says, rather than my friends not knowing, it's more the fact that they are my friends, and sometimes things like that slip. If you are concerned by my title is Duke.
Well, then I'm bow.
Uh,
Just like, thanks.
we're very anxious to meet your king. I'd love to know his name or his title, what he prefers to be called, so that way we can address him as such when we enter his chambers.
The king is known by Vreen von Averith.
Can you spell that?
Green.
V-R-E-E-N.
Not even close.
Not green.
Von, as in a van. Averith. A-V-E-R-E-T-H. I had fun with that name.
I bet.
I was
And
like,
that's the king.
that's the king's name.
Damn it, my theory was wrong.
What was your theory?
Don't worry about it.
Now you're gonna tell me.
I wrote it in my notes.
Vaughn
Is
would
Mushu the king? It's right there.
Vaughn would not be capitalized.
Alright, so, anyways, please lead us into your master's chambers.
So we can meet not Mushu.
Okay.
The king's the projection and Mushu's just behind a curtain.
Do not look behind the curtain! We just miss Mushu.
And they're like, well, come on in. The king is finishing up a meeting now. And as you guys are walking, the steward is guiding you through the palace, and you can see that it is very lavishly decorated. But as much as you see of the lavish decorations, none of you can hardly concentrate, because that ambassador that was standing there that said that he came because he was interested has started to just babble. And he is just babbling and asking you all sorts of questions. Like, why is your skin blue? Why is your hair so long? What is that thing that you carry on your back? And he's just going on and on. You guys can barely get a word in.
Yeah.
Group, who's the talker among us, I would say? Like,
Most likely.
I kind of like switch places, like nonchalantly.
Works for me.
You do like to chat.
I do. It's the Gwynlian in me.
I'm always in for the gossip.
What's the tea?
Sir Ambassador, what's your name?
Jason.
Did you just make that up on the fly? Ambassador Jason.
Born.
Jason.
Jason.
Yay, son.
Okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes I come up with really fancy names, and sometimes I'm just like, I'm just gonna go really simple. This doesn't have to make sense anyway.
Oh.
Oh.
But there'll be method to my madness.
Do any of like the banners and stuff? I don't know why I got so excited. Do any of the banners and stuff match like the tattered banners that we saw in Ainz's castle?
With this symbol on it?
No. Because he had like banners that had his symbol, which is this, if I'm remembering right. And then he had other banners that were like super old that he hadn't taken down yet or whatever. Do they match?
No, they do not.
Okay. I thought it was fair to ask.
That is a fair question to ask.
So, Ivonava is just going to follow until we get to his chambers or whatever.
I'm trying my best to field the ambassador's questions and like try and get a sense of who he is as well. I don't think I'm going to be very successful because he's not letting me get a word in. But I'm just like following his stream of consciousness and just kind of like
Insight check?
yeah. Like it, sir.
I thought about reading his mind, but I don't know if it'd be worth it.
That's going to be I can do math. 15.
15. Okay. So one of the things you should know is this particular ambassador is rather young.
Yeah.
He's only like early 30s probably, which for an ambassador is
He's
fairly
pretty young, yeah.
And what you are getting a sense of is that he is just generally far too curious for his own damn good. Pardon the French or don't.
I'm gonna be there. Good sir. Good sir. Would you like an answer, or would you like to keep asking questions?
Can I not do both?
Well, do you feel like you've learned anything in this conversation, or are you just pelting me with questions?
But this is fun.
Well,
You are very interesting creatures.
What kind of questions is he asking?
He's asking things like, why are your skin colors the way that they are? Because your skins are very dark. He's asking about the horns on your heads. He's asking about your hair, the style of your hair, the style of your clothing, the fact that he's got a pack on his back.
He
Your
likes to go
bow,
camping.
because he's interested by your bow. He's not seen anything like that in a long time.
rapid fire. We all accidentally took a bath in a colored bathtub. Was not intentional. The horns were a joke. It was accidentally super glue. He just likes to go camping. That's why he has a backpack. And that's to floss his teeth.
His?
Hers. The most to floss of one of his teeth.
He's like, really?
Yeah.
You're such a unique culture you come from. And he pulls out a notebook and he starts taking notes.
Yes. Yes.
He is like glued to you at this
He's
point.
just taking me at my word too.
Yes.
Cool.
I'm not even gonna roll for him.
That's
Poor
too dangerous.
man. So, the more questions he asks, the more I'm just gonna blatantly lie and just be exceedingly outlandish.
Okay.
And
You're going to create so many new fads.
if you ask nicely, the thing on my friend's back is like alive, so if you talk to it, its name is Crunk, it'll like motion back.
It's true. It's
Oh my
true.
God.
He uses it while going backpacking, but Kronk is also a big fan of like talkative people. So I'm gonna like shift the ambassador over to Emyr and be like,
Yeah.
they want to meet
The
Kron.
ambassador's like,
All right.
your pack is alive, and he goes and he stands behind you and he starts tapping on the pack like super gently. Hello?
Push the button and make it wave.
I'm gonna like try and hide him pushing the button. I'm just gonna be like standing in view.
And he just the look on his face is like pure joy. And you guys, he's just something. That's all I'm saying. He's just something.
Childlike
Give him
joy.
some entertainment here. I'm going to take the pack off, and then I'll push a couple buttons, and the hands are going to kind of lean up as if it has little legs, and it's just going to start following. So he can chat. I was like, go ahead, knock yourself out. Talk no one once.
And he just like starts talking at the
He's
pack.
a great listener.
He just starts talking at the pack and asking it all kinds of little questions, and he looks like a child. As far as you guys
Amazing.
are concerned,
I look at you and
he
I'm
looks
like,
like a child.
I'm just riding up Fiona's back as we walk along.
I've been I've been staring at that guy's gun for as much as I can. Like anytime it's within eye shot, I'm looking at it because I'm really fascinated by it. Has he noticed me staring at all? And said anything or?
No, he does not notice she's staring at all.
I'll keep looking.
He is just walking.
Do I see anything unique about it? Like anything other than the fact that it's a gun? I've never seen one before. But do I see anything like getting a closer look at it? Because I'm like right behind him, kind of just like looking over at it as they're walking.
Keep in mind, you're not short anymore. You're like up
I
here.
know, right? That's what I'm saying. I'm like, looking down at it,
You would be at hip height, just right
Right.
next to it.
like playing with it and stuff as we're walking.
Do you have any checks that you can run for me?
So maybe an investigation check?
That'll work.
Yeah. Ooh, it's a 19 plus 4 is 23.
Okay. So, because you've been staring at it, and you've been kind of running through schematics in your head, like trying to figure out how it works, 'cause I'm sure that's how your brain works, right? So, you do notice that it is mildly decorative, much like the swords that a lot of the knights carry on them.
Like Johannan,
Yeah.
swords, super
Functional, but decorative.
Okay.
You notice that, and you can see that there are what look like little balls carried in his sack, and each ball is at the end of a tube. And you catch the scent of gunpowder, which you've seen and used before, but not very often. And you figured that what this is something that's pushed down into the gun, and you can even see that there's a long shaft. Like the gun has a shaft, and then on top of that, there's a long stick that connects to the top of the gun that he can pull off. That comes out, and you assume that basically what that's for is you could take one of those packs,
Are you
push
prepared
it
for
down into
Graven's
the
final
shaft,
ideas?
right? And then there's a trigger that he can pull back and fire.
Okay.
You pretty much figured out that this is basically a handheld cannon
Okay.
at this point.
that does not walk.
As far as you know.
And
You all can't be perfect.
the barrel of the gun is probably about yay long, so it's fairly long, and the handle is probably
This was entirely
about that long, so it's about yay big. So it's a decent size. It goes down the length of most of his leg, or most of his thigh at least.
What's like the diameter of the barrel? Is it like that?
The barrel is probably about like that.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Like that. It's a fairly slim barrel, but it's long.
Okay.
Sorry.
I agree.
You guys got a lot of information about the gun. He wanted it.
Yeah, I want to know about it.
So yeah, now you guys are finally, now that she's back from the restroom, you guys are finally walking up to, they take you up to an actual door at this point, and the steward opens the door, lets you into the room, and he offers you refreshments now. You guys have been traveling for quite a while now, so before the king comes, he's just finishing up a meeting at the moment. Before he comes in to officially greet you, do you need any refreshments while you wait?
Are we like in a throne room?
You guys have walked into what looks like a parlor room, like a holding room,
You can put it in
basically. And there are some couches around like a center table. The table's definitely big enough that some work could be laid out, but it's not necessarily like meant for that.
Mm.
If you know what I mean, it's just set up so that it can function as such if needed. But yeah,
I'll take some water.
What you got?
I tell them all telepathically, my party, that whoever brings us our food, I'm going to check them, like read their mind and make sure they haven't poisoned our food. Although, I get the sense that if they wanted to kill us, they probably would have done so at the gate. You never know. Villains are complicated.
It's
I like to
better to
overcomplicate things.
so you guys say yes to refreshments?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the steward leaves and he'll come back. He'll be back shortly to bring you refreshments.
Take some
Do you guys want to
ranch
do anything in the room at the
I
moment?
request wine.
I second that request.
It's a little early for wine. They're thinking
After
more
what
like
we've
tea.
been through, it's
Tea.
never too early.
Tea.
Fine.
With a spot
You
of
have a
gin?
morning ale.
And they're like, good God, who drinks this early in the day?
Ivonava does.
And the steward is like, it would not be appropriate to drink alcohol before seeing the king. I will bring you some tea if you are thirsty. And he leaves.
You could bring me some virgin wine.
Some grape juice.
Grape
Grape
juice.
juice.
Having that good Welch's.
While he is gone, did you guys need to do anything in the room?
Holy
Who's
water is
still with?
alcoholic.
Who's still with us?
Johannan is still with you.
Johansson.
There are
Ambassador still there?
2 guards that have posted themselves outside the door. The Duke, Redheart, followed you guys into the room. And... but he follows you in and then goes out a side door and says that he'll be back shortly. And then... so Johannan's in the room. Redheart walks through and out the door. There are 2 guards, one posted on either side of the door that stand outside. And the ambassador, when you guys came up to the door, told you that he was going to leave because he was not meant to be part of this meeting.
What a shame.
I'm gonna like wave at him.
But he looks very depressed as he does so, and he just kind of like...
Up until that point, was he still chatting with the backpack?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna look at him and I'm gonna be like, if you have any more questions, feel free to come find me.
I'm gonna call my backpack over to me, give it a low 5, put it on my back.
Sir Redheart, do you...
He's not in the room.
No,
Oh,
he went
he
up to the
left?
side.
Yeah, so he goes into the room with you guys, but after the steward leaves, he excuses himself and says that he'll be back shortly, and then steps out through the side door.
Okay, then I'll make small talk with Rhunon.
Johannan is in there with you.
Do you have siblings or a wife?
No,
No? Neither?
neither.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Are you looking to acquire a sibling or a wife? I like to 180 and just like join this conversation. I'm like, just for this question.
So you're an only child?
Yep.
Okay.
My question still stands.
Not at the moment.
Okay. And then I'm gonna like turn around and talk to Emyr.
Alright.
I'm gonna ask Johansson. It's like, have you been here before? Is this someplace you come often, or is this where you're from?
Come here.
Where do you sleep? That's really what I'm asking. Okay? Let's get to the brass tacks here.
I think his wife's gonna have a problem with that question.
Remember our conversation?
Yeah, no, it started out innocent. Definitely thought it was. No, I'm
You
asking.
hear that in your mind, the back of your head.
I was like,
I'm
"All right,
watching you.
Sorry. Do you come here often?
Yes, this is my primary place of work. I was only temporarily stationed at the town where we met prior.
Okay.
I was only a temporary duty station.
What was the guy's name again? The king or the...
They didn't give us
Green
a
Von
Oh,
Everett.
they did.
What is it?
Rain.
Green Von Everett.
Aderyn.
If that's a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Say that 10 times fast.
Green Von
Aderyn.
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 Have they brought us our food yet?
Yeah, so as he finishes up that lovely question, the steward does walk in. He comes in with a cart and several trays, and he puts out some like sandwiches for you guys, and he has these little teacups that he pours for you. Roll perception for me.
Okay. Yeah, that's right, because I was reading their minds. Dirty 20.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely not poisoned, but they think that you're a little bit weird for requesting alcohol so early in the morning. And when you go to drink your drink, you find that instead of tea in your cup, they put grape juice.
Okay, I relay this information to everybody. And you go to a lot of, like, these sort of fancy things. Bars.
I grew up in the woods.
So, I just...
Well, it's picking out what we're supposed to do.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't either.
Last time I shared a drink with somebody, I got in a bar fight. So I don't...
Ooh. Did you win?
You're gonna hear me softly say, Ivonava, you're my favorite. Like,
Did you win?
Everybody won. It was just a good time.
That's fair.
And
Ivonava.
I pull some, like, dried jerky out of my, like, little satchel, and I hand it over to Fiernan because I don't want him to feel left out.
He just gobbles it up.
I pet him. It's like, we haven't gotten to interact a lot on this adventure. I just want you to know you're all right.
Just sniffing your hand. Like, it smells like jerky now.
Alright, as you guys are finishing up your snacks, you guys are talking, and roll perception for me. All of you.
Nat 1.
29.
12.
13 for me. And Loch. Good job, Loch. And 19 for Loch.
Okay.
You were just very distracted.
I was talking to the dragon, or the drake. It's like, my pants just fall down.
It's a good thing you weren't a king.
Why am I moving so slow? Suddenly you, and everything on you, is moving at half speed.
They gave me the wrong wine.
The grape juice?
It says until the end of your next turn, but we're going to say for the next minute. Everything around you is going too fast to make sense of.
Okay. I will keep that in mind.
I don't know how much that's going to affect your gameplay, but that's okay.
I'll make it work.
So, as you guys are sitting around and talking, you are completely oblivious, and you feel like your hand is suddenly moving very slowly while you're petting the drake. You and Loch notice when the king walks in through that side door that Redheart walked through, but you guys don't say anything immediately, and he walks up behind the couch, and surprises the ever-loving F-nuts out of you and you. Because he's just like, that's a very interesting way to drink tea.
I have promptly kind of jump and wait a second. How old are you? The tea gets dumped on my lap, and so I immediately stand, and then I like to turn around and I bow, but I'm trying not to get it on the couch. I'm like, ah!
Okay, the king walked in.
I'm gonna subtly flip you off. In Draconic. In Draconic.
How rude.
The king actually starts laughing, and he motions at a steward, and they come over and they start patting you down with cloths, and then escort you back to your seats.
Cool.
As the king chooses an unused chair off to the side, and it's just a single chair for only a single person, clearly his chair, and he takes a seat. As he does, you guys notice that behind him is Redheart.
Okay. How objectively attractive is the king?
Probably the most attractive man you've seen this entire trip.
Really?
Delightful.
This is the first group I've ever played with where NPCs and characters get hit on.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that would be commonplace. Well,
I had somebody play Spider-Man once. I had to pretty much rip their arm off to get them to play with Mary Jane. It's awkward, but no, I'm here for it.
So long as you are aware it's happening, prepared for it to happen.
Well, he knows it's going to be happening now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to control my urges because my lord told me to.
Do I
gone.
know that the king is here yet?
You notice after he has sat down, and you see that suddenly her lap is just covered in wet.
Should be yourself.
Oh shit! My lord! I drop my sword, fumble awkwardly.
I resist his charm.
He turns to his steward, to the steward, and he's like, "I know you said he requested alcohol, but how strong a drink did you give him? Or did you give her?" He's like, "What did you do to my guests?"
They're just having a great time. That's fine. What are you looking for?
I apologize. I've never met anybody of your stature before.
Is he tall?
King?
Yes.
He's pretty. That's all that matters.
If 6'2" is tall, then yes.
How old is he?
Of his stature, there's taller people at Nardorf.
He looks to be in his mid-50s.
Okay. Lord Averith, I'm Ivonava Sinclair. This is
Emyr.
Aderyn.
Rhunon.
Loch.
Oh, and this is Fiernan.
And he's like, "It's a lovely little dragon."
I think so as well.
Do you have proof of your sponsorship? You guys all hold up your coins. And he's like, can I see that? And he's looking at it, quite surprised that you guys are all carrying one. And he said, so what I was told is true. You all are working for Ainz, correct?
for the moment.
Yep.
For the moment.
Against their will.
Demons for hire.
Here to inspire.
So is it true that his men have been taken?
Yes.
Yep.
As far as we know.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we were told.
I like how we're all just waiting for Ivonava to be like, Ivonava, you decide how much information we give.
Yeah.
So first off, you seem pretty chipper.
He is.
So he was happy to see us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm assuming that was a really boring meeting. Then he's
What?
like, yes, guests.
What's your relationship with Ainzul Gown like?
And he kind of sits back in his seat and he gets contemplative. And then he motions to several of the servants who followed him into the room and now stationed themselves around the room. It's clear that some of them are guards and some of them are just personal attendants to the king. And the curtains are closed, and you guys, you roll perception.
Oh boy, will I? Nat 20 plus 15.
Cool. That's perfect.
That does
So
just
you notice that there are attendants who go to each door to the room, and then to the windows, and they're casting some spells, and you realize that they are both locking all the entrances to the room magically, and they are preventing any sound from escaping the room.
Okay.
Handy. Not that I know that this is going on, but that's handy.
So they're casting multiple spells, and it's clear that this is becoming kind of like a skiff.
Safe
I just want to bump Ivanova, tap my head, she knows to listen to it, and then think that.
Okay.
And then I'm trust her to share the news.
Yeah, I kind of tell everybody telepathically that they just soundproof the room and lock the doors.
You won't be able to hear our screams.
The king leans forward. He kind of puts his elbows on the rests of his chair, but he's leaning forward now and speaking to you guys. even with the soundproofing in the room, he lowers his voice. This is a pretty serious conversation, it's obvious. And he explains. In recent years, we have been working with all the neighboring kingdoms, including the Dragon Kin, the Holy Kingdom. I can't think of what it's called at the moment. The Roble Holy Kingdom. And others. We are in negotiations to sign a world peace treaty. It is an accord that we are laying out. Essentially, it has been decided that all the kingdoms are going to enter into a union. We will be independent nations with the understanding that we cannot commit acts of war for expansion of territory at this point anymore. We are doing this because in the past there were many wars, and we've had some scuffles in the last several years. But at this point, our kingdoms are fairly set, but we need to make it known. We need that in
Writing.
documentation at this point. Everyone has agreed to the pact. All the countries have agreed to the pact. There are some minorities that are not happy. The biggest concern is the territory of Ainz Uldown, because he technically does not own the land, though he lives within what is considered my own borders. We have been trying, or it has been left on my shoulders, that the nations will agree to the signing of the accords under the condition that Ainz agrees to become a tertiary territory of my own nation. He would have his own sovereignty over his land. I would give him his own borders, but he'd be subject to my rule, if I so choose. Essentially, like Canada is to Britain. All of you roll history check.
I knew about England, so... Critical hit!
23.
That'll be a 4.
You got no fucking clue what he's talking
He's just
about.
so pretty.
I got a 7.
You've got no idea what's
I
going
can see things, I just don't know things.
on. You're like, wait, he knows about our lands? And you're pretty certain that you know what he's talking about. But you're just confused at this point. Because you're getting conflicting information.
Sounds about right.
So yes, so OC, out of character, essentially think about the idea that they're trying to turn Ainz's territory into what is essentially Canada compared to England, where they still carry the Queen Monarch on their money. They're still subject to some of the rules, but for the most part, they're basically their own sovereign nation.
I don't see him agreeing to that very well.
Yeah, what has his response been?
Well, the problem is we've not been able to get there to speak to him. I sent, and this is when he points at Johansson, I sent my closest knight, my personal escort down there to speak to him, hopefully, and convey the information. But I sent him down 2-3 weeks ago at this point, and he was waylaid when he arrived. Ainz never agreed to see him, and we've not been able to communicate this message to him. But this is really important, because essentially, Ainz would get his own territory, because I don't care about the land. But he would be under protection. So, and it would ease the concerns of the other nations, because he I'm just going to say it, and I hope you do not think ill of me. He is a very special individual, and there is reason, I think, the other nations feel to concern him, considering prior actions. But I know that as long as nobody disturbs him or does wrong by him, we're okay. The problem now, though, is if his aides have been stolen, if his aides have been kidnapped, then our immediate concern is the retrieval of his men, the softening of any anger he might feel, waylaying of any anger he might feel, and to correct the situation so that he might still agree to these accords. Because if he does not, then the accords will break. And at this point, we have been discussing these for nigh on a decade. And if this breaks now, it very well could lead to war.
I want to see how truthful he's being when he says that he has no interest in having, Einzelgaun's land. Would that be insight or?
Inside.
That's going to be a 24.
He is honest AF.
Okay.
He genuinely has no interest in Ain's lands.
Okay.
You do hear that. You do get the sense that he is, though, concerned about the position that Ain's is in, and his power. Not necessarily that it's a bad thing, more that just he's aware that he is powerful.
Yeah.
So.
Do I get the sense, standing in the king's presence versus Ain's presence, that if it came down to like a fight between forces, Ain's would give the king a run for his money based on what I've seen?
Oh, by far.
Okay.
Sorry.
Will fuck shit up.
No, that's what I figured. I just wanted to make sure.
So, who benefits most from his men disappearing, would you say, in your opinion?
What kingdom would not want this for you to happen?
It would be no specific kingdom that is trying to prevent the signing of the peace
What
accords.
people are against this?
Well, that's the problem. We know that there are some dissenters, but we don't know who. We know that there have been meetings among dissenters. We know that some support has to be coming from the nobility, but we haven't been able to determine who the real dissenters are for the peace treaties.
Have you heard of these cloaked individuals who pass without a trace?
The Knights of Despair?
And he puts up a finger, and he says, that is what I was hoping we would talk about today. Before we get too far into the mutual sharing of information, I would like to propose a deal with you being the representatives of Ain's Gal.
Great, I was thinking that exact same thing.
Great, another deal.
Go ahead.
Your Majesty.
You're the king, you go first.
Here's our problem. We need some part in the reacquisition of Ain's men and their safe return to him. It would also benefit us if we could serve some part in the finding of the individual who put out the hit for his men, essentially. Because if we could bring him in, it would serve two sides of the sword for us. One, it means that we stay on Ain's good side. He knows that we do not serve any imminent threat to him and that we had no idea what was going on and we're willing to act on his behalf if needed. It also, however, would aid us in knowing who some of the dissenters are. Because the only reason that we can consider that this would be happening is if somebody is purposely trying to prevent this accords from being signed by preventing Ain's from agreeing to the deal. That being said, I would like to offer the help of some of my own resources from my kingdom, with the understanding that we would help you find his men, and that you would in turn help us continue and find the man who ordered the capturing of these men and bring him under our jurisdiction for serving sentence for his crimes.
I think that can be arranged.
We definitely have an audience with him. I mean, he's tasked us with finding his men. I mean, we're essentially like fill-ins for them until we can discover where they're at. And I think that'd be beneficial for all parties. And once we have an audience with him, once we've recovered his men, I have some diplomatic experience. Granted, it was one instance. But,
Do you say that?
Yeah, I'm doing role playing here. I kind of like show off my sash, and what I can do is I can persuade him to have a meeting with you because I think it would be mutually beneficial, not just for you but for him as well.
I appreciate your willingness to help. That makes me feel better considering my current position. Just know that we take this situation very seriously. Considering I am very well aware that he would probably kill us all if anything had happened to his men.
That's fair.
Yeah.
We will do everything in our power to make sure that does not happen.
Okay. He then says, well, if you all agree to this, I am a king. Would you be willing to sign documentation proving that this is what was agreed upon? I understand that you have no say in how Ainz responds afterwards, but at least guaranteeing that we're all aware of what we're doing at this point.
If we read through.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna read through it.
Yeah, if we have enough
Mama
time.
said always read everything before you sign it.
We listen to Ivonava's mama quite a bit.
No, I'm saying
Mama told me the
Alex.
same
Oh,
thing.
Alex's mama. I get them confused. It's fine.
My mama told me not to trust the city folk, so I always read it.
Well,
Your mama is
was wrong.
No, it is.
It's true.
Yes, we will sign whatever. Well, we'll look over any documentation you want put in front of us.
And should we agree to it, we will sign it.
Yeah. But you seem pretty reasonable, so I don't see why your documentation would not also reflect. So.
Okay. So he lays out documentation in front of you guys, and essentially what he's laid out in front of you is that you guys will agree to receive aid and assistance from the king using his own resources under the conditions that you agree to help locate and retrieve the men of Ainz Gown, and that you will then proceed to help the kingdom locate and take under custody whatever man is responsible for their abductions. And then you guys see an extra clause in there, and essentially what it lays out is that it's a non-disclosure agreement. Like, you guys can talk to the people the king assigns to you about what is going on, but but you cannot talk about any secret organization of the king to any other person. And you guys agree to uphold that secret.
So say we find the party responsible, how important is it that they're brought alive? Because, I mean, they're probably not going to go down without a fight, so we might have to end up taking them out.
We can bring heads.
It would be far, far more beneficial that he comes alive, because we need someone to actively receive punishment in the courts for there to be an official trial. That is politically the big end goal, because we can publicly show that someone has taken punishment for the crimes, but it also means that if he has any involvement with any other dissenters, we can rule them out, hopefully assure that they don't try anything as stupid as this again.
He wants a show.
Huh?
No, nothing.
All right. We will definitely keep that in mind.
Okay.
But
Prefer bodies, not heads.
yeah,
Breathe
Right.
like bodies.
So you guys agreed you all signed to the contract?
There's no other asterisks or subclauses anywhere hidden?
It's a one-pager.
Oh, okay.
it's like I check the edge, make sure that I'm not
Right.
signing myself over like in the Santa Claus.
Check for any hidden messages in the scroll work.
Gonna look at the bottom, flip it over.
Squeeze some lemons. make
Yeah. Can I get a lemon?
They're looking at you like you're all a little crazy.
I'm sorry.
And
Hey, do you see our skin?
You
Demons
see-
are very tricky.
you see that while the king's face is straight, he has these laugh lines in his eyes that seem to be getting deeper. Like he is trying really hard to hold back laughter. But otherwise is just letting you do your thing.
Have you ever made an actual deal with the devil?
I'm just gonna literally take my hand and just shove his face away and be like, he doesn't know what
They
he's
hide
talking
shit
about.
everywhere. You gotta check thoroughly.
We've been screwed over a lot recently, so
Well, it's not inaccurate.
And he is laughing at this point, and he says,
I'm glad you think it's funny.
he says, well, from my perspective, I'm signing the deal with the devils.
We're not. Whatever.
What are you talking about? These are just stuck to our heads with super glue, and we accidentally fell in a vat of dye. Vat, whatever.
Alright, so now that we've signed this thing, what kind of resources do we have so that way we can find
And so,
Well, first, I would like to introduce you to Duke Baal Redheart. Baal. That's how you spell his first name.
he's a baller.
He is my head royal investigator of the High Courts.
we met?
Cool.
Hence, not a knight.
I learned he was a duke.
You're the Duke at number 1.
He will probably provide the most help to you. He'll be acting on my behalf as far as working with you and utilizing resources. You are probably going to need the use of my own secret service, he says. And as he says this, all of you roll perception. I love perception checks. If you've never
29.
noticed. Huh?
29.
Oh shit.
Nat 1.
Oh shit.
Not so much fun, is it? 17.
21 for
plus 15 is so
Emyr
nice.
and 9 for Loch.
I mean, to be fair, it would be a 10, but it's a not 1.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother pulling a card for that. You're just really fucking caught off guard again.
She's just focused on how handsome the king is.
Loch doesn't immediately notice, but she's not nearly so startled as she's going to be here in just a minute. So what happens is the king makes this statement about his own secret service, and he says, I would like to introduce you to the Shadow Knights. And as soon as the word passes his mouth, you notice the shadows underneath all the seats start shifting. And then from those shadows, there are now 6 other men standing in the room. You don't notice until the 6 men are standing in the room.
I'm going to shriek a little bit, look at the king dead in the eye, and go, and you just made the deal with the devil?
I'm going to just get closer to Ivonava.
I'm also going to take a step closer to Ivonava. Mom, I'm scared.
But you noticed. You knew what was going on. You noticed the shadows.
Yes.
So creepy.
So fucking creepy.
Think about it. We've been dealing with vampires.
Right.
How do you feel about this? Anything you need to share?
No.
Or you could try.
I want to see what Fear does. I'm trying to figure out what his perception is.
Still chewing on that jerky.
Small.
What's perception?
Passive
Wisdom.
perception is fine. That's +2.
Oh, nat 20. He doesn't care. He saw him the whole time.
A mile away.
The king says these are my shadow knights. The knights might be
Optimistic?
optimistic. We'll go with.
What the hell does that mean?
They
are
do
very well
not
behaved.
protect so much as they exist as an information network for me.
Ooh, spies.
They can travel unseen, go unnoticed. They do not ever directly deal with any person. They might occasionally hasten a death or two, but only ever in the most extreme circumstances.
Politics, you know.
Alright. Fair enough.
And you guys notice that they do not wear cloaks at all. They're
Real
clothed.
hot.
They're not wearing cloaks. You're gonna get a dice tray thrown at you.
You know how she
Keep
said
it
that
in
somebody's
your
gonna
pants
purposely
again.
die? That's gonna be you.
Keep it in your pants. Again.
I don't know, he hasn't rolled that one
Hey.
yet, right now?
They're all men, you said, right?
Yes, they are all men.
Okay.
Are they wearing like hats, helmets, or just like normal street clothes where they can blend in?
They are actually wearing. It looks like the knight uniform you guys saw before, the white and the gold. However, this is black and silver. But it is, and instead of long swords on their hips, they are instead carrying short daggers.
Like short 4-dagger or slightly longer daggers, but they're still short? Because daggers are already pretty short.
No, they're just
So
they're daggers.
they're daggers. Okay, you said
Daggers,
short
daggers.
daggers. Like, how short of a dagger do they need?
I'm gonna see this. Do I recognize that they're
Emyr, roll
men?
perception for me.
Do I recognize that they're all men?
Yeah.
At this point, I feel like the king and I have a good dialogue going on, so I'm gonna be like, have you ever considered employing women?
Oh boy, we're going right in there.
He's like, well, I do have women knights.
I do have maids.
None have ever. I've never had any apply as a shadow knight. Not in my generation. My father had some.
Cool. Then we don't have to have this conversation.
23.
23. Okay. So they do. So while they don't wear cloaks, they do have hoods that seem to attach to their jackets, and the hoods are up, so their faces are mildly obscured, but not so much. And you guys do. Some of you might notice that they have bracers on their wrists underneath their jackets. You, however, catch that on the underside of their brazier is a knife. And one of them, their cup has tucked up, and you can see that there is a mechanism that would allow that knife to jut out.
Where's that one standing in relation to me?
Huh?
Where's that one standing in relation to me when I see that? See that next to me?
Where are you guys sitting?
We're like this. We're giant.
Just sitting around.
So this was like the front where the king was talking to us. So I'm assuming, yeah. Here's the king.
He's back.
You are.
Can he see me? Is he within eye shot of me?
Which one are you?
Hey,
This
check.
guy.
Yeah.
I'm Mr.
So
Connor.
he's that one is standing over by the king, so you can see him.
Okay. Well, can you see me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Why are you my seats?
I'm gonna pull up
I
my
was
sleeve and be
thinking
like,
that's
oh, look at that. We're brothers. It's like, I have one too.
Yeah, one too.
Yeah. Yep. He's got my dagger stashed in there. You can see it.
And he looks at you, and his eyes go wide, and then he looks down at his cup. He pulls his cup down.
I'm just like, huh?
Alright, Knights of Shadow,
Nice to see you.
gather round.
Yes, Dad.
They look at you like you're mildly insane.
He said they're at our disposal.
Yeah. Well, the king, they're out. Now, what were you saying? Because I guess you get to say it before the king gets a chance. So,
Well, I
are
assume...
you were just gathering them?
Yeah, well, I want to talk to them. Alright, so which of you knows where these last of Gowns' men were last seen?
And you see that one of them has a slightly different badge sitting on his lapel, and he's the one who answers you directly. He says, we did not at the time know that they were Ainz's men, and I cannot say for sure that these are Ainz's men. However, 3 nights ago, one of my men did see a group being brought in essentially in sacks. They were carried into the town. They, however, lost them in the
Woods?
southwest district of the town.
Okay.
But they are in. But they were seen in this city. If this is the group that we think you're looking for, if these are Ainz's men, but we had no visual confirmation, and at the time we had no idea that his men were missing. So they did try to track him down, but it wasn't an imminent concern. It wasn't within our mission at the time. But we believe we do still believe that they are still within the capital. There has been no sighting of them leaving.
How long ago did you see him?
Mm-hmm.
How long ago did you spot him?
3 nights ago.
In the southwest?
Southwest part of town. Yeah.
Okay.
Then perhaps
We lost
should
them
start
shortly
there.
after they entered the capital. Which one?
I said, then perhaps we should start there.
What's in the southwest area? Is it like 'cause
Market
as we
district.
as we rode in and as we drove in, I noticed that this looks like a very prosperous city. So props to the king. What's in like the southwest? Is it more shady? Is that where you would kind of get lost in taverns and have a lovely tavern brawl every once in a while?
The southwest district is mostly warehouses and storage.
Oh, okay.
Which is part of why we lost them.
Yeah,
So,
lots of sacks around there.
yes.
I'll have you take us there immediately.
Where they were last seen.
Yes.
Ideally.
Did you guys want any more information than that?
What information do you think is pertinent?
Some
I'm the DM. You can't ask me that.
We're asking, I'm not asking
I
you, we're
can
asking
try.
the people.
No, that's
That's pushing it here.
Rhunon, what do you think?
Oh, goodness. I'm not used to tracking in towns, but...
I mean,
Rhunon, check your notes.
I look at Fearnan.
Remind yourself things that you've been told.
How far back am I checking?
What sort of information do you have on, like, the Knights of Despair? Do they work around those, like, areas?
what whispers do you hear about the Knights of Despair?
I guess I shouldn't just assume that they're bad, but it sounds like they're bad.
Well, I mean, they are assassins for hire.
Yeah.
So,
Not great.
yeah, not great. And they are the shady kind of assassins for hire, he says. He says that his squad has, in fact, had dealings before with what did I call them last time? The Dragon Knights?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That they have had contact with the Dragon Knights before. And the Dragon Knights...
Dragons?
Dragons, yes. The dragons. It's like, I didn't think I called them knights.
Nope,
but I
there's
did.
the dragons.
And the dragons are, while ruthless, much more politically motivated, and they do tend to work on behalf and the good of the people / society. Whereas the Knights of Despair are aptly named because they bring despair wherever they may go. They do not care who they
I mean, this
are handling.
Kentucky does seem pretty politically motivated.
Do they like the good shrubbery?
That's a different set.
Think of the dragons more like an assassin version of Robin Hood. While the Knights of Despair are just your run-of-the-mill, god-awful mercenaries.
When was the last
Except
time?
they're not mercenaries, they're assassins.
Assassins. When was the last time that you all had, like, dealings or kind of, like, heard whispers of the Knights of Despair in the capital city?
They almost never come up this way.
Okay.
Which was part of what caught us off guard when we saw them.
So it's been a minute. Where are they more active then? Like, in what kingdoms or...
They tend to stick in the Re-Estais kingdom far more than they ever come over to Baharuth. They do occasionally go down to the Slain Theocracy or down to the Draconic kingdom, but they tend to get into... but they don't tend to mesh well with the dragons.
Yeah, that makes sense. We had a dealing with one. They seem very...
And they've never been able to get into the Roble Holy Empire.
Okay. So they're not very common around here. When was the last time that you all like actually had documented them in the city before this? Was it like 10
Documented?
years? No, not documented, but like, you know what I mean. Hear whispers. When's the last time that you all...
I mean,
Decades.
they come in and out, but it's normally ever small things, especially in the capital. Like, we never get anything up here in the capital as far as they're concerned. They tend to stay further to the east in this empire when they come by, but we do know that they operate in this empire. There's just not as many of them here as they are in our neighboring kingdom.
That makes sense.
How many men did you see enter the kingdom on the group that you saw enter?
And I gotta check my notes.
Stumped it.
Kind of off guard at that one. Because I know approximately how many men traveled up this way.
Do you?
Yeah.
Did I tell you?
Yep. I'm seeing it. If it matches.
Well, but now I have to check. I might have to check your stuff to make sure that I give you. The info.
When I talk to
we'll
the
see here in
plants.
just a minute.
Okay.
In a minute.
When I talked to the plants. Oh, I missed hearing that phrase. Sidebar. I feel like we should all have a cloak. To help us hide, like, the unicorn horn.
I've got one.
You've got
I
a
got
cloak.
mine, yeah.
Yeah.
I just have a cape.
I was gonna say, okay,
And
well then I
armor.
think in that case that we and
And
maybe
Loch.
Loch
Definitely Loch, yeah.
need a cape before we leave, cloak before we leave.
I thought Locke was just like a normal human now.
No.
She's
She has
still,
horns.
She's exactly the same color.
Oh, so we were
she's
just kidding when we
she's
said
just
that.
dry.
Yeah.
I was really hoping it was. That would be
Right.
hilarious. That she's
Just the only normal looking one.
She's like, I'm a pinky.
I hate this!
No.
Gotta love when my notes stuck this.
Well, but now I'm trying to find the info because one of my tabs got closed.
Uh-oh.
Might help if I type the right thing in.
Well, we got this moment. So we're all gonna go explore the southwest part of town then.
I feel like that's a good place to
Potentially,
start.
depending on what we were about to be told.
That's where they were last seen.
Well, you're just trying to get a count.
Well,
of
I'm
how
seeing
many.
if it's the same group of men, it should be about the same number.
Okay. Well, maybe
About
'cause
the
they
same.
could split up, or they
Yeah.
could do something.
But if
else.
it's like suddenly 30 or...
If
or
it's
they
one
wanna
on
enter,
one.
or they want to enter the town, more unnoticed,
It's like-
they would reduce their numbers.
They counted a total of 9.
Interesting. See, we tracked 18. All of them carrying stuff. So either they split up, and if they're all carrying something, not all of the people that were taken take it to the same place.
Now, those are
You
the people with the 3 crosses on their boots.
Yes.
You said that you had notice of those 9 men carrying sacks. Do you know if it was 1 sack per man or 2?
1.
Okay.
So we were tracking a group of 18 men carrying something.
Cool story, bro.
Is there anything else you could be asking them?
I'm trying to find out. I don't know what else I could be asking them.
Well, I was thinking.
If you missed your notes on this, I'm going to shoot you.
There's a lot of stuff that we weren't told because we were assholes to the people. So I say to keep that in mind.
Same time you were talking to the plants.
Same time talking to plants. Let's see.
I'm giving you too much help here, dude.
I mean, like,
I'm giving them way too much help.
Did they have crosses on their boots?
Ha! Hey, look! Good heavens.
I go to the bathroom for a couple minutes.
It's a lot of notes I gotta read through.
No, it's just you didn't think to add about it. You read that line quite a few times.
He says, the knight says, yes, they had the typical crosses on their boots. They did carry the sigil of the Knights of Despair. And he asks you then if you have seen the crest or if you've only ever heard of it.
I mean, I personally have not seen it, but I've talked to some
So you've heard
creatures
of it.
that have, yes.
Okay. So he takes something out of his pocket, and he seems to be like flipping through notes. And you realize that these guys are pretty meticulous. And he then proceeds to show you a sketch of the sigil that is worn on their boots.
Interesting.
All right.
Weird looking smile.
Did I show it to you guys? Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. But just like the two dots and then the loop.
Actually, so either the plants miscounted or they split off
up.
somewhere
Yeah.
before they entered the city.
Well, if I was them, I'd come in as a smaller group too, so we don't draw
Less
as much
noticeable.
attention. Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, you might find it on a routine sweep.
the
if
question
you're an
is-
intelligence collector, but...
What would they benefit by coming here if they were bringing? Because that just seems to bring them closer
I mean,
to
if
danger.
they're trying to,
Don't say it.
if they're trying to prevent a treaty having it look like the kingdom took
know what they say
the
about
men,
that.
could be a problem.
Say it again.
If they're trying to prevent the treaty having it look like this kingdom is holding the men that were taken, could be an issue.
Ooh, actually, that would make Ain's Al Gown flip on this kingdom specifically
Yeah.
when he's
Causing
supposed to
war.
be
Exactly.
allied with it, yeah.
Is that what you guys think?
That is
Fear.
one of our theories, but we don't know. We've not even been able to verify that this is the group, that these are the men that are missing.
Okay.
Because we've not known that the men were missing long enough to do any kind of detailed information sweep.
What information would you have been looking for on that sweep that you don't have now? Like, is it just more info and going and actually tracking, so essentially what we would be doing? Or is there some information that you all could be collecting while we're just going out and, like, sniffing around in that area that could potentially benefit this investigation?
I have a thought. Would you all be able to potentially find a place where a group of 18 could have split up outside the city before they reached the gates?
Anywhere in between.
Problem is they didn't come through the gates.
Where did they come
They
through?
came over the wall.
Do you know where over the wall they came through?
Yes, we can show you. As we do show you, we can show you where they came over the wall, and then again show you where they were last seen. If you don't mind that I send men out at the same time, and they could be.
That's fine. Do your men have any distinguishing marks so we know to distinguish them? We're kind of new here. Other than they hide in the shadows.
Not really.
Can
You're
we
not
roll
really
back and
gonna
forth?
see my men, and the ones who do reveal themselves are always plain clothed. Draws much less attention.
That's fair.
And most of those men anyway are deep cover, so they would never be seen with any of us to begin with.
That's fair.
So that they have ready eyes on informants. You guys are getting the sense that this is a pretty well established
Oh, yeah.
group, and they know what they're doing. So if we can certainly show you to the wall, and then we can show you where they were last seen. If you don't mind that my men continue the search and see if they can't find anything while we're catching you up.
I think we would prefer that, right? More information gathered, the better.
Is Redheart still in here with us? With this whole conversation?
Duke Redheart?
Yeah. Is Dookie boy here?
Yes, he has just been patiently waiting.
Okay.
And if you were paying attention to him, you might have even noticed him taking some notes.
How many nights ago did they say that they saw him enter the city?
9.
9 nights ago?
Oh, no.
How?
It was
3 nights
three
ago.
nights ago.
3 nights ago.
9
Okay.
nights. 3 nights.
Okay.
9 nights ago.
So it takes typically 4 days to get from where we were to this castle. We were brought what?
32 minutes.
34
Well, no,
I mean, it
34
felt
minutes.
like that for us.
No. But
We were brought by carriage.
we
so
were
it's
brought by... No. How long ago were we brought to this land? So, like, how much time has elapsed? Did they have a magical means of getting here with those people? That's what I'm going after.
What is
They
it?
arrived 3 nights ago. How many nights ago were the people taken?
Did we?
How many nights ago were his men kidnapped?
Because
Before-
we've only
before
been
he
here
summoned
one
us.
night.
Yeah. So before he summoned us, did we get that information? I'm not sure if on
No,
this
because we pissed him off.
Right.
And so we didn't get a lot of information
Somebody
from
pissed
him.
him off. I don't know. That's a we statement.
Yeah.
The other
Did I
god
say
here.
Trey?
He was pretty vague.
Yeah, he did not tell us exactly when, just that his men were taken.
Yeah.
Just, go find him, I guess.
Okay. Well, if I did say it and it's in the video, I apologize.
It's not.
No. It's
I'm
not.
gonna retroactively rewrite it if that's the case. But so they were brought into the city 3 nights ago.
Mm-hmm.
You have been here 5 nights.
Oh, okay.
And how many nights were since the men were taken?
I have no way of giving you that info.
That's fair.
But, like, did we get the impression when we were with Ainz that, like, he brought us the next morning after his men were taken?
I have no way of giving you that info.
Okay.
That's fair.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
I'm making you guys very disappointed. As much as I want to give you the info, I can't.
Well, there, once we go to these 2 areas, we'll find out more.
Yeah. Just before we go, I want to talk to Red Heart, but
I also want to specifically ask for cloaks for Loch.
So it don't cause as much of a disturbance.
So we won't cause as much of a disturbance. 'cause,
via
like,
their
our
appearance.
looks.
He's like, well, it is certainly uncommon for a demon to not disguise themselves. So,
it's 'cause I'm not a fucking demon.
do you not know how to glimmer yourselves?
Nope.
Is what he
What's
proceeds
that?
to ask.
I promise you, my mother did not give birth to a demon. This is all very new. How does one glimmer?
He's like, he looks very confused. Are you not high demons summoned by Ainsul Gown?
We were summoned by Ainsul Gown from a different plane of existence,
I have a
but
bottle full of glitter, but I use that for something else.
Oh, good heavens.
yeah, for decorating.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Yes, for in the glitter.
Somehow, in the summoning, I think we were transmuted into demons.
Yeah.
Or he's just messing with us.
Or he brought us, saw that we weren't as powerful as he wanted, and then said,
Pre-summoning, we were not demons. Summoned, suddenly demons.
I see.
all very new.
Well, none of my men, nor I, know how to perform the spell that it is demons normally perform to not look so
Demon.
unique.
I mean, we can just see, like,
But it
really
would
deep
certainly do no one in town any good to see you as you are. He then proceeds to offer, well, if that is the case, cloaks I do not think would do you much good. I mean,
It is kind of hard to hide these.
yeah, those things.
Mine go like whoop whoop.
I got ram horns.
I
Yes.
just have a bunch of, like, Darth Maul horns.
If I just like, can I then have a comb so I can tease my hair so that it'll just like out poof the horn?
No, only because that's horrifying.
I'm just gonna carefully wrap.
DM is playing God.
I'm just gonna carefully wrap my hair around my horns and be like,
I love your pointer.
he's only ever going to sit there specifically so he can just...
Yeah.
Point out the rules. He says, "What I can give you some cloaks, but their effect will not be the best. I do not think. I can, however, offer you some potions. I'm sure the Wizard Tower has a couple on hand that they could spare. They would at least make others glance away from you."
That's fair.
I'll take it. And can I also have a cloak? Because it got a bit chilly the last time I had a stand watch. I don't have as much.
He says he can see if there are any spare cloaks in the castle that
Thank you.
they can afford to offer you.
This is a kingdom, and you can't afford to offer somebody who just signed a contract with a cloak. I did not say that aloud. It's just going through my head, so I hope Ivonava can hear it.
Ivonava hears all.
Yeah.
I look over at Ivonava, and I'm like, right?
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing.
Okay, thank you.
He says that now since it is only midday, it might be a little early for you to trapeze out. You would definitely be seen, and if you are trying to reconnaissance and remain unseen, it might not be.
I'm sure y'all, as this very secret spy organization, have some secret passages in and out of here so you can arrive and leave discreetly.
I need you to repeat every word that you just said because none of it stuck.
I'm sure you Shadow Knights, as a very secretive organization, have ways to discreetly enter and leave this palace without others seeing.
I mean, they did just kind of appear.
He says that the method that they use is to travel by shadow, and that is not a thing that they can do while carrying a person. And so their methods would not be...
I can kind of do that. I can pass without a trace. Where Veil shadows the silence radiates from us, masking us and our companions from detection.
Okay, I'm going to say this, though. If you were out midday as a giant shadow moving around, I'm
from
pretty
shadow
sure
to
people
shadow
are
and
going
it
to see
sticks
that.
to us.
It just increases the stealth checks.
It makes us blend in more with the shadows.
Yeah, I'd say let's just wait till evening at the earliest, so we're less noticed.
If that's the case, once we have downtime, just a heads up, what I plan on doing is meditating and kind of focusing to see if I can figure out that glimmer thing. Because I just want to, he said that I could change my appearance, and that's cool. I miss my my metallic hair. I would like it back. But, yeah. So is there a place that we could stay, or a place that we could kind of, a library perhaps, where we could go and gather more information about the area and to get a better understanding, because we're not from this plane?
Sure, I do not mind if you use the royal libraries. In fact...
Is that good with everybody?
I mean, I like information.
You like reading.
He hands you a giant sheet of paper, and it looks like it's blank, but he tells you, if you take that to the royal library, they will let you look at any book you so choose.
Can I Arcana check it and see if it's magical?
Black light.
Are you really going to Arcana check it?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
14.
As far as you can tell, it is a normal sheet of paper.
Oh, and it's a my normal sheet of paper.
It is a little thick, but...
I want to talk to Red Heart and ask him, do you mind showing me your little device there? And I point to the gun on his hip.
I do, in fact, mind you taking mine, but I could show you some others that we carry on the grounds.
Well, I just meant that just show me how it works. I'm just curious. I'm a scientist of sorts.
Something of a scientist.
Scientist.
He says
Believe in yourself.
He says, I can take you to the shooting range and show you
Yes.
how the device functions. And if you want, we can
Best
stop
treatment
at
you ever
the armory and we can grab one. You can give one a try.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Can he be trusted with a
Come on, guys, let's
firearm?
go. Let's go.
I gotta go to the library.
Books.
Did you grow up reading books?
I did. I've read enough.
I'm telling your mother you said that. To be like, your child passed up on books to play with.
Did any of you guys have any real questions for Reinhardt? Just check it.
That was a real question.
Okay.
I was like,
I just until it gets darker, do some studying.
Because I don't know if you guys forgot that he was there or you just genuinely don't have questions
oh,
for
I
him.
know he was there.
He's not as pretty as the king.
Yeah. He's got cool toys. So do I.
Oh no. What did you just do?
Did he only send it to you or is this something?
This is in the group.
It's in the group.
Perfect. Perfect.
What did Alex do?
It's perfection. It is pure perfection.
Oh, now my phone rings.
I don't have any questions for him.
No, I feel like we
He's
got a
gonna
lot
be
of
traveling with
information
us,
on
so we have time.
Oh, yeah.
You said it, and I was like, I don't know if you meant it like that, but that's what I thought.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I meant to say it. Just not as, with evil
You're out,
intent.
Norman.
Scientist.
Okay.
Gun range?
So are we splitting up? Is that what is happening now?
As long as we're within the palace.
Right, I was looking at the thing. Never split the group. Never split the group. Never split the group.
I'm going with. Is he offering to Red Heart? Is he offering to take
Never
the
split the party. Number one.
I think we're alright in the castle. Though.
right? As long as we're within the palace, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I want to go to the gun range with Red Heart.
All right. So who wants to go first? Who wants me to deal with them first?
Would you like to,
Yeah.
just to get the... Yeah, go for it.
Just go for it.
We
Okay.
went to the library.
Library.
So seeing that things are kind of wrapping up, the king
Oh, sorry.
proceeds to thank you guys again. He expresses that I am very appreciative for the fact that you are willing to cooperate with us at the moment.
Which was-
And if at any point you need anything, talk to any of the stewards within the castle. Talk to Duke Redheart if you need anything from him.
Do you all have a magical coin that lets people know that we're with you?
No.
You just interrupted a king, my guy. That's not great.
I'm sorry, I
He
had a
didn't
question.
curse, so.
Because you're not one of my men, you're one of Ainz's men.
But your palace people will know to help us if we ask.
They'll know.
Okay.
How many demons do you think His Majesty has?
Well, if they haven't heard it, we might terrify them for so many demons in the
He says that Redheart is in charge of the official investigation, and that he will be the one presenting the case before the courts when everything is settled. So he asks that you keep him as involved as you possibly can in the process, though he's not had much chance at the moment. And he tells you that if at any point you need to talk to any of the Shadow Knights, just call to the shadows and they will come.
Good to know. Can't wait to use that later.
Write that down. Write that down right now.
Beyond that, I will assign a small group of my own personal knights under the leadership of Knight Johansson, and they will work with you
You
as you
mispronounced it
proceed.
too.
Yeah, you guys say it wrong all the time. Johannan.
It's handsome. God said it.
No, I said Johansson.
I know.
I still didn't say Johansson.
I know, you said Johansson.
Just give it time.
It's Johansson.
It's Johannan.
Like Scarlett Johansson.
It's because you guys say it wrong all the
It's-
time.
This is an accident.
It is.
No, it's not.
Okay, it's an accident for me now. It's for you too. It's intentional.
Handsome is on purpose. Handsome.
That's true.
Slip of
This is the look of God ready to smite us.
slip of the tongue.
Anyway, the king stands up and he says, "Thank you again for your time." And he glances at a clock that exists on the fireplace and says, "But I do have other important meetings to attend to, so I will be taking my leave, and I will leave you in the hands of my men. I'm sure Johannan will get back to you with the group of knights so you can take them when needed. Other than that, have free roam of the palace until you need to leave this evening. And he just kind of sweeps out of the room.
Don't forget to jump scare your future guests.
Enjoy your meetings!
And you guys notice that the doors have now been opened. The curtains are pulled wide again. So obviously the spells in the room went uncast. And as he leaves the room, the Shadow Knights give a slight bow of their head and then proceed to disappear within the shadows of the furniture again.
The king's gone. We can curse now.
I mean,
Fucking
I'm
hell.
pretty sure I did a couple times already by accident.
This is why you learn multiple languages, right? So you can curse in different languages so nobody ever knows?
We're assuming he doesn't know.
It's true, I cursed in Draconic and he laughed.
Yeah.
I know 9 different languages.
I was literally speaking this at you.
I know.
Okay. So are we
Yep.
ready to go? Cool. So Mr. Redheart, Duke Redheart, proceeds to take you out. I am going to throw something at you, and you will have earned it. He proceeds to lead you from the room through the palace.
What the hell?
Collateral damage.
That was aiming at you. Using me as the back to you.
I didn't mean to hit you in the face. I'm sorry.
Goddamn Ivonava.
I didn't mean to hit you in the face. I
Boy.
apologize. I meant to hit you, just not in the face. Are you
I thought you were
okay?
going to take him out and kill him.
So he takes me
You
out.
feel a blade pierce your back.
Take him out.
The ball game.
He leads you through the palace, takes you to the armory,
Okay.
and he shows you the pistols that they have in there, and they have a couple in there, not many. He says that most investigators carry their own, but there are spares here should rise a need for a new one.
Okay.
He offers you to choose one off of the shelf, and he proceeds to grab a small box of, he says, ammunition.
Okay. Do they all look the same? Or
Mostly, some of them have, they all have like a script kind of design on them, but the script images are different. Like some of them have, looks like ivy leaves, some of them have what look like skulls, some of them roses. There's one with little dragon heads all over it. Roll perception.
what is it?
That's a 5.
13.
Okay. Yeah, the little dragons almost look like dancing mooshoos. Other than that,
What's happening?
Move shoes on a gun.
Dancing with shoes on a gun.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that one. Yeah.
dancing mooshoe.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that one.
Okay. I had a feeling. Anyway.
Okay.
And he's trying to slyly pocket it with some ammo.
So he's got the box of ammo.
Yeah. And he takes you outside. And just outside the armory, there are some training grounds. And when you immediately step out, there are knights practicing sword play out there. And he takes you around where they're working to the back. And at the back, you see that there are several tables set up and what look like targets downrange. Almost looks a lot like what you would see in an archery range. But rather than hay bales behind the targets, there are wooden stands that hold the targets, and behind those wooden stands there are flat wooden planks that exist behind those targets. And the targets look like they're sheets of parchment. And rather than the typical bullseye that you're used to seeing on an archery range, there are people that exist as the targets. However, you do notice, unlike what I expect you're imagining. They're not like faceless people. Each of them is a very distinct person, and each of them has a name that exists above their head.
Ooh.
Can I read the names from here?
Yes.
Do I recognize any of them?
You do not recognize any of the names, no. None of the names are recognizable.
None of the faces either. Okay. Does it come off to me as like these are important people, or that they're just like enemies of the state, or?
Are you going to ask?
Yeah, I'm asking that.
You're going to ask?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
He does
what's
in
up
fact...
with these real faces on your targets.
These are the most wanted men that exist within the kingdom. It is common practice that knights in all of the towns, any knight that carries a pistol, we use these pictures for their targets because we found that it works very well for recognizing when these men walk the streets.
Fair enough.
Makes them pretty easy to spot.
So, out of all these,
That guy.
out of all these bad guys, which one would you say is the worst of the worst?
He points to the one on the far end, and this one, the face is not nearly so well drawn out. It looks like much of the face is missing. It's covered by a hood, and it's clear that his full identity is unknown because there is an alias name written at the top.
What's the alias name? Oh, you don't have it prepared.
Yeah,
Frank?
Jimmy?
Cloverheart.
Cloverheart. It's a
A
Cloverheart.
lot of people have heart in their name.
Yeah. Okay.
These are just a kingdom of very loving people, guys.
All
I
right.
really like ripping out hearts.
I have the pistol in hand. I'm kind of looking it over, and if he notices me, it looks like I'm trying to figure out how it works.
And he immediately rips it out of your hand, and he says, "You never, ever point the barrel at anybody."
What's the barrel?
He says, "The circular part where the projectile comes out of, that's the barrel." He's like,
Projectile. I still don't know how this thing works. What do you
"You
mean?
know what it does? I already told you. I know you know what it does. Don't pull that BS."
Gun safety.
DM speaking.
Did you tell me what it did?
Yes.
Oh. I didn't know you told me to actually, shot projectiles and stuff. Okay.
You were able to figure that out. He just pointed it right in your eye.
Yeah.
He's like, "No, never.
Okay.
Never ever."
You show me how it works.
Yep. He proceeds to take out his own, and he shows
Much
you
longer and fancier than yours.
the cartridges that he uses, and it's basically paper that is wrapped around so here's your paper cylinder, right? And this back portion here is filled with gunpowder. And then up here there is a small ball, a projectile. And I say it's a ball, but it's more like a cylinder with a head. Almost like a everyday bullet that we've seen, not like a musket ball. But he explains to you that they did in fact used to be round balls, but they found that those are not nearly as efficient.
Okay.
He then shows you that you pack that cylinder down the barrel of the weapon, and you always hold. He tells you that you always hold your weapon pointed towards the side and away from anybody. And he says, while it used to be common practice that you point the barrel up, they found that increases the risk of accidental fire, and says, "Do not do it." And he says, because especially, and he explains to you that, if the bullet flies up and it ends up in the air, there's a higher chance that it'll come down and hit someone from the top of their head.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Typical gun safety that we know. And he shows you that there is a rod that exists that sits on the top of the gun, and you can pull the rod off, and then there's a rounded end on one side, and you can push that down the barrel, and it pushes the cartridge back into the back of the gun and pass it down. And then you take it out of the barrel, you slide it back on top. And then he says you aim the weapon, you pull back the hammer. And he says that there's that there's gunpowder that's kept in the back, and when you pull the hammer back, a small piece of gunpowder is released out into
between the hammer and the cartridge.
The cartridge, yep. And then you aim and you pull the trigger to fire.
Okay.
And he says a well-trained investigator can load their gun in under 10 seconds.
Okay. I'm going to take a couple shots if you'll let me.
Yeah, go for it. So roll. See if you did. What do I want you to roll? Hey, Alex, this
Yes.
is a good one for you. What should I have him roll to determine whether or not he hits target?
Dexterity is range dex.
Range, okay.
If you just do a base dexterity.
So just roll a base dex for me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Dirty 20.
Do you guys mind if I answer this?
Go for it.
I
No problem.
apologize.
You're fine. So, dirty 20 on my dex.
Yeah,
Dex
okay.
check.
So yeah, you definitely hit. In fact, you get them square in the nose.
Ooh, that's a good shot.
Yes, it is. But he tells you that it's better for you to aim a little higher. And he says if you aim for the forehead, it would be better.
I'm going to take another shot.
Okay, go for it.
That's a nat 20.
Okay. So yeah, you get him square dead in the forehead. And he's like, if you keep that up, I'd almost recommend you for service in my for service in my squad.
Well, Emyr's got a big old grin on his face.
Are you gonna fire
I'm very
again?
excited. I'm gonna ask him if I can see one of the rounds.
Yeah. He hands you one of the cartridges, and he says to feel free to disassemble it if you want it.
I'm gonna turn around and kind of mess around with some stuff. And that was a 10, 11, so 21 of my mechanics. And then I'm gonna come around and show it to him. Like, here, give this a try. Shoot this one out.
And he's like,
Trust me, you're gonna love it.
roll persuasion.
You might not need one light spin on if we get electrocuted. They might need one light.
I've never rolled higher. That's 6.
Yeah, well, considering you rolled against a 4.
I still get against it? Holy crap.
Yeah, he's totally ready to fire that weapon. In fact, he shoots it, and tell me what happens when he shoots it.
Well, hopefully he's aiming at a target that's more than 20 feet away from us. Shit's about to get real. Does he?
Yes.
Okay. On contact, it releases a fireball spell. It encompasses like 20 feet around the and just burns it to the ground.
There is a certain look of horror on his face.
And I'm like, woo! Wasn't that awesome?
Horror and intrigue.
Oh, good heavens.
Bet you could use some of that
I
out
need.
there.
Can someone grab? You said 20-foot radius.
Let me double check the spell. I'm pretty sure it's.
Yeah, it's 20-foot radius.
Yeah, you would know. Creve. Yeah, 20-foot radius.
So that's 20 feet from the center.
Yeah. So the center being that target.
Mm-hmm. So we're about 10 feet away from. So it would have to mean that you shot at a target 10 feet or farther away. It's 10 feet. We're singed.
Yeah.
Between 40 and 55.
How far away are we?
We're fine. But not only do you burn down the one target, but the target immediately to its right is also completely burned down.
Twofer.
And God, he really does look horrified, and he's just like, What was that?
Magic.
What did you do
Magic of Crunk.
to my gun?
That was science. I imbued it. I gave it some extra bang for your buck. Do you like it? I can make more.
No. Absolutely not. Never, ever.
You didn't like it?
No.
Oh.
You can't use that in a civilian population.
He also is a stealth person.
And I can imbue it with multiple different things. I don't have to just put fireball on it. I just thought you would appreciate that one the most.
Apparently not.
Apparently not. Phew, tough crowd. Well, I liked it. It's like I soot all over my face.
And he's like, let's head back in now. And as you guys re-enter the palace, he stops the steward, and you hear him talking to the steward, explaining the situation.
Before we did that, I wanted to actually ask him a couple of questions before we went.
Before you went in?
I don't know if it's a good time to talk to him now. It's like, hey, can you have a
there's no
can we have a
rewind
chat?
button on D&D.
Yeah, right. But I was like, can I talk to him before, or is he just kind of wanting to get away from me now?
You can talk to him on your way back into the
Seems
building.
to happen a lot. I asked him how long you've been working for like this kingdom. Like you've been here your whole life, or
I was born here, if that's what you're asking.
yeah? And you've been working as an investigator.
You're right.
Like, how did you start out? Did you start out as one of the Shadow Knights guys, or are you?
Well,
How'd you get this line of business?
so no. As an investigator, we maintain our rank of birth, but we work for the royal courts in an official manner. So we are officials of the courts and serve as investigators for criminal activities, specifically for criminal activity among the royal population and the upper wealthy. Mostly just because if we sent a regular investigator after someone with any kind of title, they would try to word that over the investigator. So to handle that, men or women of rank can apply to be a royal investigator, and then they work directly for the royal courts.
Does he look human?
Yes.
And how old does he look?
He's in his late 20s. It's about 28, 29.
Okay, so he's younger. What do you think of Einzel Gown? Like, what do you make of him?
He stops and he looks at you and he's kind of like, I'm not sure what you're fishing for there.
I was asking, since you've been here your whole life, has he been around since you've been around, or is he a
He's
newcomer?
been here far longer than I've ever been alive.
Well, what do you think of him? Do you think he's a just ruler? Do you think he's a kind?
I mean, he's lawful, not necessarily good, but lawful. Doesn't go out of his way to break laws, but I'm just saying that if something does happen, he'll use or do anything in his power to make it right for him. Including considering the situation now with his men missing, I wouldn't put it past him to destroy the entire kingdom that's responsible for the disappearance of those men.
Yeah, your king seems pretty nervous about that.
Well, anybody that knew anything about Einzel Gown would be. Is all he says.
Okay, that's all I wanted to say.
And then he proceeds to go in, and you hear he stops the steward on his way, and he steps aside with the steward, and you hear them talking, and he explains the situation that two of the posts are down, and the steward is kind of frustrated, and he's talking to the steward about who to talk to so that they can get those targets rebuilt and remagicked. And they're talking about expenses, and he makes a comment, just talk to the wizard tower, they'll figure it out. And he's like, I've got a guest that I have to take elsewhere.
I'm over there while they're having that conversation, like try to twirl the gun around like an old western, and I've dropped in it.
Does it go off?
No, it doesn't have a round in it. It's empty. I'm like, oh, sorry. And then I pick it up.
You dropped Mushu?
Speaking of that,
I want you to roll luck for me. Luck is officially a thing now. Just whatever's on your die.
Oh, okay.
Just roll a straight d20.
What? Luck is now a thing.
12.
Okay, you're fine.
Oh, God.
You pushed the DM a little too far today.
I'm assuming he's about to send me away, like, back to...
Yeah, he asks if you would like him to escort you back to the group. Back to the library.
Yes, please.
Okay. And he henceforth takes you there. Going back in time now to you guys. You all are still in the room, correct?
Yeah.
Room/library. That's mine. That's mine. What are you doing? That's mine.
This is yours.
Yeah.
More. It's mine now.
Alex is screaming, that's mine! As you proceed to drink.
I was gonna drink a Dr. Pepper next.
Alex, I think that's you.
Zach, yeah.
Hold on, I need to keep making note of that for the future.
Also for the stream, Zach just grabbed Alex's Gatorade and took a drink of it, ignoring him saying, "That's mine! That's mine!"
I saw you holding up your thing, and I'm like, what are you guys talking about? That's mine. I thought he was talking to you.
Red card.
Green card!
Red card. Off the field.
I'm sorry, what were you
I
saying?
have red cards and green cards. Do you guys... Red cards and yellow cards. Maybe I should bring them. We should have behavior cards now.
I mean, all my old ref stuff's at my parents' house, so I don't have red cards with me.
Okay.
Mirrors
Yeah, I'm going to use the restroom first and recollect myself, because this has been...
What the hell was that?
So
Did
that way
you
you can,
actually think that was yours?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah.
Would it be better to have
No.
a 24?
Yeah,
or
I
would
was
it be
very
higher to
convinced it was
6?
Is that the
mine.
first time you drank out of that?
Wouldn't
This
it?
should be fine.
God, I hope so.
I think so, yeah.
God, I hope so. Oh, God.
It would be funny if you guys had been sharing the same drink the whole time and you didn't...
I think I would have noticed.
You were pretty on top of it when he did it.
Yeah.
What I really liked is because I was just like looking at you. I could tell you had no idea.
I was like, why are you saying that? Because I saw her holding that up. I'm like, I'm confused.
Yeah, they were kind of perfectly timed with her holding it up.
Are you not going to allow me to order directly from this thing?
Hold out your hand like this. Hold out your hand.
Go out back and find yourself a good switch.
Say also when I'm DMing, I could be like,
That's true. Okay, but
Just in case you guys didn't notice, she never got the gun back.
Oh, I noticed.
It's my gun.
I'm the captain now.
Look at me. I'm the captain now.
But like, right? Okay, so that would work.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's one in Springfield.
That's pretty good.
I don't know that I want to drive to Springfield.
How far away is Springfield?
Like, it's not that far. All things considered.
This is Springfield, Ohio.
It is Springfield, Ohio. I'm literally looking at reptile terrariums
Yeah,
right
buddy.
now for bearded dragons.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
That's what we've been talking about over here, is I've been looking at different ones.
As you're flirting with the gun.
So
Flirting with the gun?
Yes.
when do I need to cat sit? When's the dates again?
The 26th to the... I'm coming back on the 3rd.
Okay, so next Sunday. Are you leaving like in the morning or something on Sunday?
I'm leaving around noonish on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
Okay.
And they'll be fine till Sunday morning.
Do you just want to give me a key then?
Yeah.
We were going
that's
to
what
for
we're
you.
gonna
Okay.
Which I can do now. Right quick. Husky?
So to the 3rd?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can, like a day, 2 days. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's just feeding 2 times a day?
Feeding 2 times a day, and then you'll probably need to clean the litter box because they get messy.
Yeah.
The one downstairs, because we're Tiny Tim, only has 3 legs. If there's any poop in the litter box, he poops on the carpet.
Yes.
Okay.
Because he can't squat and not touch the poop. And
Alright,
that's
the
just
litter
not
is
acceptable.
toilet flushable, so it's easy.
Yeah.
So you just flush it in the toilet?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you guys do?
Yeah.
Okay, just
So it's-
We have toilet flushable litter, so
Okay. Alright. Works for me.
it's easy.
Cool.
You good?
Yeah.
Laughing too much?
No, my skin, my face hurts.
Scout.
Have you considered removing it?
Removing my skin?
Yeah.
I know a guy.
No, I had like my
But no.
face was peeling because I had a cold over the weekend.
Oh, lovely.
And so before I came in today, I gave my face a good wash, and I think I scrubbed too hard.
See,
And so it's like raw and
Yeah.
just hurts.
you two are heading to the library? Is that
Yeah, are you coming with us?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask. So who wants to do what, go where, so I know who to take care of next and what's happening?
We are librarians.
No, official class change. Got it. You. I've always wanted to be you. Y'all good?
Modifying personality. Yeah, we're good.
Ivonava, what were you gonna do?
I'm just going to ask where the nearest chapel is and go sit there quietly.
Holy person.
They do have a chapel room on premise, if that's okay for
What
you.
god do they serve
That's
here?
fine. I asked that too. That's a good question. What god is it?
Why do you guys ask me hard questions? Like really?
Welcome to DMing, where you're never fully
You're at a
prepared.
16.
Hijo de madre.
Nice.
Oh, by the way, at any point when you
I'm
want it,
gonna
I
move.
have the backstory for next week's character.
Already? Jesus.
What can I say?
It's alright, I've got mine done too.
Exactly.
If you look at the Port of Nardorf, you'll just see a character from me that says, "Don't mind me, I'm just playing around."
Don't worry about it, because I rolled a 5 on my religion check, so I wouldn't know who it was anyway.
Well, but you asked.
They
Oh, I
could
did
tell you.
ask.
Yes.
Did you
Gotcha.
ask?
That's true. So it doesn't matter if I don't know.
Do they know? Are they all atheists? Do they serve a god? Do they serve one god?
They just have a
Multiple
chapel
gods?
for fuck's sake.
Begging to.
Some people bought this tank for their leopard gecko.
Mm-hmm.
Their leopard gecko is thriving.
Sorry.
But they didn't get it for any snakes. So
Here's what I'm gonna go
don't have any
with.
hides.
They are not a monotheistic culture. They're polytheists, and they have different gods for different that represent different seasons, different aspects of
Or
nature,
nature's
and
just
so forth.
Okay.
I think they can just work No.
But if you're asking who the big god is, they'll tell you Zeus.
Alright.
There.
Okay.
Not necessarily true.
Librarians! I love the episode where they rescue Santa Claus, played by Bruce Campbell. Have you guys seen the Librarians? Okay.
I have not.
I have. You guys have not seen The Librarians?
Bruce Campbell plays Santa Claus and it's great.
You should see it.
I don't know who Bruce Campbell is.
Ash from Evil Dead.
I haven't seen Evil Dead.
Give me a second.
Never mind. Just carry on.
Okay, my librarians.
That's Bruce Campbell.
I vaguely recognize him.
Sure.
He's Spider-Man.
Yes, librarians.
We are here. We are librarians. We're very proud
Are
of
you
that
sure?
fact.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I forgot what's happening.
We
Okay.
are gonna go to
yeah.
the
So
library.
We're going to research.
Before you figure that out, because I want to know if Locke's going with him or not, is there a pool of water anywhere
Oh!
that the castle has or calls?
If she can't breathe water, do you know how upset she's gonna be?
Well, she's about to find out.
Is there a fountain?
Do you want to do lock stuff first?
If we can-
we'll do lock.
well, if there is, and that's
Yeah.
where she's going to
You
go.
guys want to do locks
Go
first?
for it, go
Okay.
for it.
Okay. Yeah. So they do have a pool in the premise. Are any of you guys there to know what happens? That's the next question.
I mean, do I pass by her on my way to the chapel?
No. So then no.
Is there a window that faces where she's going?
No. So you just aren't going to
She
find out
can
yet.
tell us about it later.
Correct.
Okay.
So Loch goes and she does her thing, whatever that thing may end up being.
Delightful.
She disappears.
You guys, one of the steward that had guided you into the room prior and served you the tea and cakes, or tea and sandwiches, offers to lead you to the palace library.
We would appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. When you guys go through all the twisting hallways that exist in the palace, and you end up in the back left of the palace, so the northwest of the main palace. And you are led into a very grand room. It is a very large space, and the library is several stories high. So it's from the ground floor to the top floor of the palace. But it's all open space, all the way up to the top. So you walk in, and the ceiling is the top of the palace roof. Okay, you can see that there are there are bookshelves along the walls, and there are ledges, the levels of the floors. There are balconies up
So
there.
you can see into each level from the middle.
And you can walk up there and you can get books, and it's 360.
Okay.
And there is, you see, in the back left section of the room is a spiral staircase that is inlaid in the wall. And it seems to be the one of two staircases. So there's the one on the left, and then there's one on the right, and they twirl in opposite directions.
Fancy.
Alright, I'm gonna turn and look at you before we talk to the librarians, and it's like, alright, I think we should do two things while we're here.
Let's hear it.
I think we should figure out how this plane came into existence, like the origin theories behind it, so you know what I'm saying?
I think it's just one of multiverse planes. That's really helping us right now.
But I'm interested. I also think we should look for the glimmer spot to see if there's any mention of how demons cloak themselves.
I was thinking we look at the history of the Knights of Despair.
That also makes sense. Okay, cool, sweet, excellent, wonderful. We have questions. Hopefully we've got at least 4 hours.
What kind of sorting system do you use for this library?
What are the things that you guys want to find info about?
Oh, right.
History of the Knights of Despair.
Yeah.
Any info about how demons use their glimmer spell?
Hold on.
Give her time. Jesus Christ.
I say hold on, and he keeps talking.
Yep.
She's used to it by now.
No. Still irritating.
Next.
Which part did you get?
The history of the Knights of Despair.
How demons use their glimmer spell. What were you looking at for?
The origin story behind this plane of existence. Either how the gods came into being or how the gods created stuff.
Creation theories.
Stuff. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, I'm looking for creation theories.
Those 3. That's it.
Do you have any other?
I thought you listed something else too.
Anything? Einstein Ghoul's history, see if he's had any negative dealings with groups or people.
And then I've got another one. I just want to see if the god Bahamut is recognized on this plane.
Okay. Give me 1 minute.
You're
Because
good.
I'm going to order your stuff.
You're good. All I know is, are there a bunch of tables in the middle of the room with people studying papers, or is it pretty much empty?
Is Delin there going through all her notes?
Mama?
Falling asleep. Missing your day with Milo again.
No. The one is not there.
I'm here. I found your mom.
Mama Bear?
Okay.
I must cast the runes. 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so I have the list. How do you proceed when you enter the room?
Is there a
card
librarian?
file sorting system?
There is, in fact, a librarian. You see that there is a desk immediately to your right. It's a round, semicircular desk that's butted up against the wall. There's a shelf that exists behind the desk that has some books on it, and you see that there are names listed on the shelf where the books sit. And there is what looks like a small cart, a very small cart, off to the side behind the desk that has a medium pile of books on it, not too many. And the librarian is sitting there, and it looks like they're recording something in a ledger of some kind.
Well, first what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk up and I'm going to be like, hi, and I'm going to very clearly have the sheet of paper that I was given out, because I know that I'm a demon right now, and it's probably going to be a little startling to see.
Okay.
But so I'm going to walk up to them and be like, hi, I was told you could help me.
The librarian takes the paper, and there's, you see that there's like an inlaid piece of, it almost looks like glass that is sitting on the desk. It's inlaid in the wood. And they take your sheet of paper and they place it on that glass, and then it proceeds to glow. And then you guys see gold emblems coming, like a scroll almost, or a border on the edge of the paper that you were handed. And then you see some words that pop up on the sheet that you guys can't quite read it from where you're standing. The librarian promptly takes the sheet of paper off the piece, what looks like glass to you guys, and files it away. And she says, "What can I do for you?" And by the way, she's a tiny little thing, clearly human, but she stands about yay tall, like 4 feet.
Adorable.
But clearly human.
Yeah.
Just a tiny little human.
Do we want to ask her the questions in like the order, like ask her where we can find the information?
How do y'all...
We have specific questions we would like answered. Would the most effective way to be ask you, like where each of the information could be located, or do you have a filing system that we could utilize?
She says that if you ask her what you're looking for, she can point you in the right direction.
Okay. We're gonna
I'm gonna make you guys work for this because you're making me work for this. Okay.
Yes, that's fair. So we're gonna ask her for directions and like, I'm gonna be like, can I have a piece of paper so that I can
So
write
do
this
you
down?
want me to just go through the things and just give you the info? Okay.
Are you ready to take notes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did. That's great.
I'm messing around with classes and stuff for my next character. I think I'm gonna be a rogue.
Me too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna multicast though.
never been a rogue before.
You do multi-class?
That too. Don't know what I said. Sure.
We have 4 questions, right?
5, technically.
What was the 5th one?
The 5th one
What would I
was
have?
the demon, the glimmer.
Oh yeah, gosh, no.
Happy music.
It's library music.
That's what I got off to. Thanks. I don't know why I sent it away that far. Gee.
This is like, I'm taking notes.
I'm going to trust you to not look at the back of this when I hand this to you.
Okay.
And keep it flat so other people don't see it.
Okay. Is it to share between Trey and I?
Yes.
I thought it was.
Knowledge.
Flat.
20 years! 20 years!
Woohoo! What?
20 years! It's the 20th anniversary of the Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh, yeah.
I literally showed
I
you
know.
something about it yesterday.
You just can't say 20 years and expect me to know what you're talking about.
Can't I?
Oh, she said 7 days. You'd know exactly what she was talking about.
Would you?
You said what?
7 days.
You don't know what that's from, do you?
I'm blanking.
The ring.
Chicken Little.
Yeah, the ring.
Obviously, it's from Chicken
Yeah,
Little.
it's Chicken Little.
The sky is falling.
Obviously. 7 days.
If you want to be my That's a great movie.
Iconic.
10 out of 10.
So you guys are just nerding out in the library? Is that what you guys are doing?
Pretty much.
Did you guys catch an explosion? Did you guys hear it from where you guys are?
I don't know.
We're not asking the DM at the
It was
moment. The
pretty
DM is
big.
a little.
Are you sure?
Well,
You
we'll
can't
see.
bombard her with some questions?
No.
Can't be the ambassador. So
I
where'd you
hope
get that pin?
that the ambassador goes away thinking that people can have their skin dyed in vats of like accidental weird baths, and that some people just have horns glued to their head for aesthetics.
I'm hoping he
some
starts some new
backpack
trends
top.
in his home place.
Say what?
Hoping he starts some new fashion trends in his home
Right.
now.
Let's-
Everyone's doing these days, going horns to their head,
God.
dyeing their skin.
Bless
Bless you.
Okay, you gave me 5 things, but one of them is in other things.
Okay.
That's the one we can't see the back of.
Yeah.
Can I take a picture
You can
of
see
this
the side. Yeah, you can see the side I wrote on, but
Alright, and what if I thought of another question? Is that too much?
what is it?
Just like city plans where I can see like possible secret passages in and out of the city.
Yeah, where's a blueprint of this city? Go ahead, draw it up. Shot.
I'm gonna take a picture of this as
Yeah.
well so you can have it back.
Give it back. Give it back.
I'm
Give it.
taking a picture of it.
Give it back.
I didn't
No.
get to take a picture.
It's fine.
You
You're just gonna
add
add
some.
something.
Too late.
That's right.
You had your chance.
You goof.
You wanker.
So you were at the chapel.
Yep. A chapel. I don't know if it's the chapel. It's a chapel.
Oh, it's the chapel.
Retake your picture. See, I'm giving you guys the full library experience.
I appreciate
Delightful.
you.
Along with the shh.
Well, they were making it hard on me, okay?
Okay, so looking at this, we've got history, magic, and architecture.
Yep.
Okay. Which one do you want to tackle first? Do we want to divide and conquer?
Hold on.
You also misspelled Einzal Ghoul down.
Did I misspell?
No, he
No,
did.
I did.
I was like, did I misspell?
No, I was looking over his shoulder. Being nosy and shit.
I don't care that you guys might need this again. You got pictures on your phone.
Yeah, we do.
Mm-hmm.
We going. Searching for knowledge.
Yeah, we are. I'm ready.
Okay, wait. How do you want to divide this? Do you want to go look at history and architecture, or do you want to...
If you want to look at the gods and plans, I feel like Anjalgon and demonic spells could be similar.
Yeah, except look, they're in history versus magic and architecture.
Ah.
So I'm saying
you
we
can get
divide up-
history, I'll get magic and architecture.
Okay, cool. So we want to break it down like this. I'm assuming we're going to have to go and roll for what we want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you want us to do it one at a time, or...
You can make your rolls if you guys can keep track of the list, and then we can go through the list. How it might be quicker,
Okay.
and I can tell you what it was you learned.
Is this, what kind of roll is it?
Investigation?
Investigation.
Give me a second, sorry. You can...
And since we're helping each other, is that advantage?
If you guys are looking for the same thing,
We'll do that then.
Yeah. We will tag team. Each thing one at a time.
What is your...
so who has the higher investigation?
Yeah.
I have plus 14, I believe. Yeah, I have plus 14.
Well, that's 100% you. I got plus 0.
Oh boy. Alright, so you want me to roll for each subject or just total?
For each subject you're looking for.
I'm gonna write down what you roll.
Alright. To
So
start
you got
off,
how many?
there's 5 total.
Okay.
And we're starting just down the list.
Yeah. First one is origin stories and gods.
One that says go. Oh yeah.
Oh!
Is going to be a 31 for origin stories and gods.
What is?
Do you want to go ahead and roll for the next one?
It's like all of them, except for these
For
four
demon
from,
spells
like,
and summons.
magic sets.
It's going to be
So it's like it's the symbol.
a 32 for
Knights of Despair.
Knights of Despair. It's going to be a 27 for Einzel Gown. It's going to be a 33. And for City Plans, Nat 20,
Which is a
which is a 34.
Okay. I have it written down if you want to.
I think.
Level 20 stats are so nice.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
One of them was close.
Terrifying.
I'm betting it's the Knights of Despair.
No, it was the first one.
Oh boy.
First one I rolled really high, so.
That's fair.
Because I basically just had you guys roll against me.
Yeah.
I gave myself a buff because you guys are stupid.
Let's go for level 1. That's fair. It's perfectly valid.
Perfectly valid. Okay. Here, give me that thing again so I remember what's in what.
You're right.
Alright. Unless you needed this to take notes.
He's gonna take notes.
You're taking notes, sir?
Yep.
Alright, so origin stories and gods. What was it that you guys wanted to know? It was the origin stories and whether or not Bahamut is recognized, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you find absolutely no mention of Bahamut anywhere.
Okay.
You find mention of gods such as Zeus and Athena and Apollo
So like
and
the Greek Parthenon.
Dionysius, huh?
It's like the Greek Parthenon.
Basically.
Okay.
It's a dream, why not?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I don't want to have to create a whole new belief system.
No, you're
No, absolutely not. Okay, so we find mention. Is there any like origin story, like the gods brought the plane into existence, or does it kind of follow like the Greek Parthenon? That sequence of events.
With titans and such.
So there is mention of Titans. However, unlike the Greek Parthenon story, the Titans were completely obliterated by the gods that the people recognize. And the Titans are often considered beings of destruction. Even sometimes referred to as demonic deities. But they are considered to be dead. As far as origins go, unlike their Greek Parthenon counterparts, these gods tend to be a little more life-centric.
Mm-hmm.
And while they are mildly fucked up, not nearly so bad as the Greek Parthenon stories.
Yeah.
And it was Zeus and the other gods of Olympus who did in fact create the human race. But
Yeah.
beyond that.
Okay. Cool.
Awesome.
Okay.
You guys nerd out.
Oh,
But we're still
learning
going.
now.
Are you
Still
still
learning.
nerd?
That was topic 1 of 5.
Okay, so demonic spells and
Wait, does-
summons. You guys wanted to know.
How demons glimmer.
Yeah, okay, so demon glimmer spells. So while you guys are doing research into demons and demonic summons, you learn that it is not a natural ability of the demon to perform this glimmer spell. It is often a side effect of the summoning spell that allows the demons to cast glimmer on themselves.
Gotcha.
That being said, it does mention in the books that you guys find that knowledge is supposed to be imparted on the demon through the original summoning spell, and that there is no known way of creating the glimmer.
Gotcha. So we don't have a vast chance in hell.
Okay.
Because if it had been, we would have been like told when.
Do
Gown.
a secondary roll in demonic spells and summons.
Oof. Math 21, right? That's what it is. Plus 14.
Yeah.
Okay.
21.
That is all you guys then find.
Okay.
The Knights of Despair. The information that you find in the library is not much more than what you've already learned. You do find a singular reference to the sigil that they wear, and that it is often engraved in their boots, only because a boot is less likely to be lost, is what the idea is.
Interesting.
Whereas if it was on a cape, it'd be much more recognizable. But there's debate in the book. It mentions debate as to how the actual sigil looks, and you guys, it's mostly just talked about, not necessarily drawn out. And you do notice that the sigil you see in the book, while similar to what the Knights of the Shadow Knights showed you, it is slightly off.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys probably understand that it's just because not much is known. It really is slim pickings as far as the Knights of Despair are concerned. You do know that they are mercenaries for hire. No knowledgeable source has ever confirmed how it is that you contact them to hire their services. The book that you find indicates that it's probably something that is better known to not share, as far as any of the purchasers are concerned. And they are known to get the job done, though they can be a little cruel
Yeah, that makes sense.
via their methods. They are not known to be very sympathetic for the victims. That's for sure.
Assassins for hire don't give off that vibe.
Awesome.
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
And then you guys wanted what?
Iron's Owl Wool or Iron's Owl Gown or City Plans?
I'm talking on trying to see if he's made any enemies.
What did you want to know about Iron's Gown?
See if he's made any enemies. Anybody that might want to take his people, cause harm, cause the nation turn against him, him turn against the nation.
Like a brief history of his existence as well.
Yeah.
So they've got it.
Since he's got here, any conflicts, anything like that.
Do he have enemies and why is he here?
Sorry, I gotta work now.
You're good.
So, what? He's sending me a bunch of stuff. I'll have to look at it later. Sorry, that's really distracting.
We're still not it.
Okay, history of Ainzul Gown. He came to be the earliest possible mention of him in history was 194 years ago. It was the earliest mention of Ainzul Gown, in which shortly after his arrival there was a full-on confrontation with a knight from the Rebel Holy Empire, in which the knight tried to confront Ainz, and Ainz completely decimated the knight. I believe that shows up actually in the first couple episodes.
I think it's alluded to, but it doesn't get flushed out in the first 3 at least.
Okay. So,
because I can think of what you're thinking, but you don't get any background for it.
Yeah. So that happened, and after that, the village by Ainzul Gown was essentially claimed as his own. Okay, thank you. And actually, the town of Rentel is kind of unofficially recognized at this point as part of Ainz's territory, but he doesn't ever actually claim any ownership of it.
Yeah.
So, but many who go to that town consider themselves closer to Ainz than either of the kingdoms.
Gotcha.
Which has put that particular town in an odd kind of position.
Yeah.
Politically speaking.
And then does he have any enemies was the other?
He does not have any enemies that anyone knows of. There is, however, mention, mostly because he was found to have talked about them, that there might have been a panel of creatures that he worked with, of companions, as compared to the men that now serve as his servants at this time. They believe that they used to be men, I use the term lightly, men of rank, much similar to Ainz's own, and they each have their own crest.
Yeah. The tattered flags in his
but they disappeared shortly after the arrival of Ainzul Gown, only a couple of years after his arrival. Those individuals disappeared, and it is much alluded to that it's believed that Ainz is the one who killed them.
Interesting.
But there is no evidence thereof.
Gotcha. Alright.
And if you guys saw the show, you know what actually happened.
Yeah.
Explain this.
Okay.
Like the first person, first 2 episodes.
Are we
Yeah,
good with...
it happens. It's how the first episode starts.
Yeah.
So there were 10 years of glory with them, and then the server shut down. Then he got stuck.
As far as we know.
As far as we know.
In real life, yes.
Explain that to you.
In game, but
Okay. And then city plans. So, like, is there any place that we could figure out where...
Austin, stop it! Leave me alone! It's like,
Day off.
Sorry.
You're good.
Okay, city plans.
To include, like, sewer systems, anything
Anything that,
potential.
yeah, could be used to get around without being seen.
In the city, not really that you're seeing, not anything highly beneficial.
Okay.
You do see, however, that especially the further out you get from the main district, there do tend to be more back alleys that you suspect would be very easy. It would be very easy to make your way around the back alleys.
Okay.
Are you really good with directions?
As a ranger, yeah.
Okay. As a ranger, what is your preferred landscape, though? Did you take urban at all?
I gotta double check.
Are you?
No, I took Depth Explorer.
Are you dead set?
So I'm
Would you like
Fast
to
Explorer and
see-
Survivor, both in wilderness and dealing with others on my travels.
What kind of werewolf?
Yeah, but
I don't-
you should have been able to take other preferred at higher levels.
No, because I did the alternate option where I don't take that. I learn 2 languages, and I'm just not specialized in any one, but more advanced in all evenly. So, like, let's see. I can speak 2 different languages. Walk speed, climate speed increase.
Okay, because you can't take the map with you, but you do see that there are lots of alleys, and that would be very easy to get lost. So, are you planning to take advantage of those alleys in the future? I'm asking you.
Potentially, especially if we might have to chase somebody through the alleys if we see somebody you want to follow.
Okay. I want you to roll with advantage.
Will that be survival?
Give me 1 minute. Let me look.
I'll give you as many minutes as you need.
Is a shadow magic sorcerer. So if you want to, like, we can talk it out.
Yeah.
And I'm not dead set on it, but, like...
You guys have to fight for it.
Do rollies.
At what point...
Yeah, roll survival for me.
Okay.
At what point is
That is going to be a 24.
24. Okay. As far as directions go in the future when you are in back alleys, I'm going to say that because you have seen these maps, and you seem to commit them fairly well to memory, you will take advantage on any navigational checks that I make you make in those alleys.
Amazing.
So they'll be survival, but that seems like just like a character thing.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
This isn't related, but Zach.
I'm not trying to
Like
abuse my
spy.
power as DM.
You're good.
Spy.
So hyper stealth.
It kind of like spy in the same way of like operative. So not always stealthy, yes, but also like
High in like persuasion and deception.
charisma too. So I could be like lying to your face and you wouldn't necessarily know.
Okay. Then I think I'll go something different this
Well,
time.
no, if
'Cause-
you-
well, you've kind of fleshed out.
No.
yours more than
I was just
have.
messing around. So if you really want to go down that route, just let me know.
I'll take a look at. I don't understand multi-classing though. Like, so when you multi-class, you're not getting the full benefits of both classes, right?
Well, no.
You get the full benefits for each level you have in the class.
So
so
when
you can essentially, like, okay.
The shortcomings is because you're putting levels into another class, you
Okay,
miss
so
out on
level
levels
20.
on the.
So you have to choose between which benefit you're going to take. From the
So if you
levels.
go on D&D Beyond, you say you increase a level in one class, but
Okay.
you don't increase the level in another class.
So the interesting thing is what that essentially means is you're like if you, as an artificer, like you're level 5 now, correct? So let's say you're level 5 artificer now, but you decide that you want to take some in rogue because you want like more trap detection, disarming skills,
Okay.
right? So when you decide to finally level in rogue, you're only level 1 rogue. So you're only going to have the abilities of a level 1 rogue player.
So yeah, like this would be me at level
Gotcha.
13. I would be
So
rogue
you're-
10 sorcerer.
This is my-
You would remain level 5 artificer, but then you'd also have the benefits of a level 1 rogue. The
Okay.
problem is that means
That's
that
my
everyone
level
else
20
is playing
character
as a
right now.
level 6 character.
15 levels in Ranger, 5 into Rogue, so I get area of the abilities up to
So
level 15.
that would be like if everybody else single class was level 20, that would be
Yes.
this version.
Your
of
max
level
levels combined between all the classes is maximum 20.
20. It's interesting.
Yes.
Okay. That
So-
could be some interesting combinations.
That's yeah. So no, if you are interested, go for it because that was by no means me being like, yes, I'm going to be a rogue. It was just like I was playing around with that idea because anytime that I roleplay in D&D, my first reaction is to loot the body, which is not a character that I've played yet.
Yeah, I thought it'd be fascinating to be somebody that's like, kind of like Crunk was. Like, typically be a bad guy, but for some reason is.
You had like it's like Finn at the beginning of The Force Awakens. He has that moment where realizes what he's doing is wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
I will
Yeah.
also say,
Has some sort of conscience.
if I play a rogue, my alignment is probably going to be chaotic evil.
Yeah.
at least in the beginning.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So, like-
character development is start moving them more towards a neutral.
Oh, but I don't know that I would be going towards neutral.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see how it plays. Right. But I was thinking something similar. So, are you sure you don't want to do that this time? Because
No,
I
I
will
mean, if-
definitely play that role this time.
If you want to flesh it out, go for it, because I might still choose like a more evil character, but I might play around with a mage user instead.
Okay. Okay.
I have a very interesting like backstory idea that I want to flesh out, but I don't have to do it for this next campaign.
So that's very interesting. The race that I'm choosing is the Kinku.
Yes.
Humans are so much
The
fun.
Raven people.
Yes.
Is that what they are?
Except they don't have wings because they lost them like in a bet long ago or something.
Yeah.
And the only way I can communicate is through mimicry. So I have to mimic someone else's voice in order to talk. I can't talk on my own. I have to use mimicry. So I have to mimic somebody. So I'll never have like my own voice. I'll always be the voice of someone else.
Anyway, back to our current.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
That was a long sidebar.
sidetrack. And
Yeah,
we're back.
animation is good. Alright. Okay. Distracted. I'm really distracted today. I apologize.
Squirrels.
Yeah, that's how I feel today. So, did you have any other questions?
I think that covers it. One of the three.
Did anything that I covered give you more questions?
Oh, that is another good question.
You feel like you just got done talking to Olkesh, or are you?
I have feelings
Everything-
about all cash.
Everything was a riddle.
Let's see.
It's like,
Ooh, so we looked at the Knights of Despair. Is there any mention of the dragons?
Do a roll for me.
Are you also interested in those, or am I doing it?
I mean, if you ask me, I will help. What was your idea? So you,
Hey, help me.
17 plus 14, so 31.
Cool. So as you guys start looking, you find information about the dragons, and it is clear to you that they are definitely a politically motivated group, but they tend to act on the political behalf of the underrepresented. And on the behalf of those who do well to represent those people, that group. So they tend to be very much for the betterment of the common good. Give me 1 minute.
Oh, please, just a minute.
So much
is it
lore.
safe to say that they've been at this for quite some time, like a couple hours? Because we're waiting until
Yeah.
evening, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys can come in and join.
Well, I'm gonna go looking for Ivonava.
God, if you will.
Looking for my lord. I don't know if
And
I'm gonna
Saber.
roll to see if I found her or from like.
I didn't tell anybody where I was
Yeah,
going.
exactly. So nobody knows. I'm just looking. I'm kind of going. God.
Thinking really hard.
Yeah, right. Yes, I'm praying. That's what I was doing. I'm praying for you. I'm like, Lord Ivonava, please provide me guidance to where you are right now. Does it work out that you could just like hear it, or do you have to kind of like think about hearing
I have
it?
to think about it.
So
I have to
you
open it
tune
up.
me out.
It's not always on.
So there's no frequency on
Oh
right
god, that
now.
would be insane.
Okay, you guys ready for this?
Don't ready for this.
Y'all ready for this?
Alright, so here's what happens. You guys are reading, and like I said, they're obviously politically motivated, often on the betterment of the underrepresented, the poor common folk. They are known to cross borders. They do originate from the Dragon Kingdom. Is that what it's called? Yeah, from the Draconic Kingdom. And they have gone north into Baharuth. They've gone over across that river in the center to the southward desert,
Gotcha.
where dwarves are known to live. Dwarves and
Kind of worked.
even some of the dark druids.
That was 2 8s.
Okay. And as you are looking through the book, both of you roll perception.
Ooh. 30.
It's not going to be quite as good, but
I love level 20 so much.
not 25.
Works for me.
You just get strong!
That
You
was the
guys
plan.
notice that the dragons, in fact, have their own symbol, and they often tattoo it across their neck as a show of loyalty to the order. And this is the emblem of the dragons.
Yes! Shoot!
So is the person in the picture a woman? I know I'm not there.
There's not a person in the picture. There's just a picture of
So
what
it's
it is
not
they
a girl
tattoo.
with a dragon tattoo.
Correct.
We just see you scratching a bunch of stuff out. Damn it.
Take all that back.
No, it's still on my nose.
Okay, so seeing that, my next thought would be Mushu? So I would now specifically like to look for any mention of like Mushu or something that fits his description in that same book.
Say we named him, so it's probably not going to be by name, but
You never know.
Symbol, track that symbol
Didn't
down.
have a name.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look
he
at the
has a name.
references to see where that's cited and go to that next book.
Oh no, this
Down the research train.
This dimension could be totally in the future. He's like
Mushu
a
is
legend.
gone.
Right, he was a legend.
Roll perception again. Or no, actually this time roll investigation.
That'd be crazy.
You got this.
Because you're looking for something specific now.
Are you helping me or
Am I?
Oh, he's got secrets.
are you?
Yeah,
Am
you
I?
already mentioned that before.
Are you doing this together?
Are you? Yeah. Yeah.
Do
We're working
it.
together.
So do it with advantage.
Yeah,
So
do it.
investigation with advantage.
Those look like
24?
those sixes to me. Oh,
No, 23.
Okay.
Okay. There is mention that they follow their own god named Mushu. And he descended on the land 1,000 years ago.
Holy shit.
Sounds like a lot of responsibility. Can you turn invisible? Of course I can.
You can't do it right now.
I move
And-
so slowly.
You guys, you find in this archaic book reference that the dragons were originally formed in the pursuit of the 5 heavenlies, but no other information is given.
Cool.
Okay.
My buddy's alive. Or he was 1,000 years ago. Amazing.
And there is 5 of us. Are we 5 heavenlies with Mushu?
God damn it, not time travel again.
That was just laughter. Very not reassuring. Delightful. Cool.
I think that answers all our current
Yeah, I was gonna
questions.
say, do you have any other questions?
Nope.
Any new questions that I have?
Nope.
Okay.
Hey, off my jacket.
What in the world?
Thank you.
It wasn't on it. It was stuck to the chair.
Yeah, you
What the
flipped it
hell?
off of your chair.
No.
Why? Why?
Why not?
I just saw whoever it was that sent this. Why?
So what?
That was me. I'm sorry.
The Captain America?
Oh, that was me.
Oh, that was
Why?
I thought it was funny. When he said I'm the captain, now that's automatically what I thought of.
good heavens.
So my problem is on my iPad I don't have like the contacts don't show up, so it's just a little list of phone numbers for our group chat.
I got
So
you.
I'm just like, so I don't know who sent this. Alright.
I thought you were talking about that other thing.
Spiritual weapon, launch out a catapult. The anchor. Use your bardic weapon.
I'm waiting her to get back from the restroom. Well, was there anything else you guys wanted to do?
Yes.
That.
What was it? 3.
Hey.
Did I find him? Or her?
Or it.
Or it? Or that thing over there?
There's a woman. So.
Remind me what you were doing, because I heard you guys talking
Oh, it's
off
okay.
to the side
It was short.
when I was doing stuff with them. So.
I was just saying because I wasn't at the fire. I was probably at the fire range for maybe like a max of like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'd say. So they've been doing that for a couple hours. I was thinking about what Emyr was doing when he got back and saw like an empty room. He just started wandering the chambers looking for Ivonava, who didn't tell anybody where she was going, apparently. So
I did.
She's off.
But you did, because you asked if there was a...
I didn't ask them,
somebody.
because I didn't ask them. I wouldn't be asking one of these people, because they wouldn't know where the chapel's at.
Yep.
Amazing.
In the palace?
Yeah.
An employee in the palace wouldn't know?
No, I'm saying...
They don't
Yeah,
know.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm wandering through the corridors looking for Ivonava. And I'm praying real hard.
Survival.
No.
Religion.
Really?
You said you're praying.
I am. I'm praying to my god Ivonava, saying, "Please, Ivonava, give me guidance to where you are right now."
I want you to roll a counter religion check.
Counter religion.
Mine's a dirty 20. What's yours?
It's definitely a lot lower than that.
Oh yeah.
I rolled a 2 just my thing, so I'm not going to beat that. But so
Okay, yeah, so you find her.
You do? Hell
You
yeah.
do.
There you are. You just hear me over behind you.
And you just feel this very holy religious force that is now accumulating in him through his journey to find you, through his pilgrimage in the palace.
Tingly. It's weird. Is this how you feel all the time?
I guess so.
You did this to yourself.
I'm glad I caught you. I had a couple questions. So I've been thinking about what you talked about the last night and been working on it. Hope you noticed. Okay, it's been a lot.
I did.
Okay, I've been using your strength and your guidance to help me with that. Are you like the only god, or is there like a bunch of...
No, I meant more metaphorically. Like, think of me as like an older sister that you listen to. Like, God is like a very vague term. Like, I'm not like actually a god. I was kind of kidding.
Ooh.
Roll
What?
religion for me, Zach.
19.
Yeah, you still completely believe that she's your god.
Sweet. I get it. I understand. So nobody else knows then? It's just me?
I guess so.
That's so cool. Alright, we'll talk about it later.
Once you go find the others in the library,
Yeah.
I'm going to sit here and meditate some more.
You got it, Lord. Scurry down the
My lady.
long legs.
On your long legs.
I'm sorry, your
Long legs.
position is far too important at this point.
It's alright. At least he listens.
Alright.
You have the lens kid,
I'm looking.
who's convinced that Ivonava is the
What?
Lord and Savior.
So, like, Emyr, he's on at 20, and he just, like, never really gave... He just thought, like, the God thing was more like them drawing energy.
Yeah.
Like, still scientific. So he
Yeah.
never thought about it as an actual, like, God thing. So now that he's actually met a God, and is convinced... Because his mind, he's going, well, she could read minds. I've never met anybody that can read a mind before. It must be something only God could do. And since I rolled a nat 1, my persuasion, he really convinced me. So... This is you're actually believing in a real God, so it's a big deal.
You know, hypothetically, there have been some situations where
The belief that somebody's a god is turned him into a god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is how we're gonna beat Strahd. We're gonna believe so hard that
A literal
he's a god.
god.
And he will create a literal god. Oh god. Okay. Sorry, you're looking for us in the library?
Yeah, I'm running looking for you guys.
Do you stop anyone in the halls, or do you just try to find them yourself?
Oh, God told me. He just lead me down the righteous path. He said, go get them. He didn't say, go talk to a bunch of fucking strangers and then go get your friends. He said, go get your friends. Right? That's what you said?
I said you should go find the others in the library.
Exactly. Go find my friends. So here I come.
Okay, roll investigation.
That one. Plus 4, so it's a 5.
We're gonna go find Ivonava before you can have whatever you just said happen.
You realize that reality around you is shifting. Anything you are trying to reach is getting further away, even as you get closer.
The never-ending hallway.
Your next turn, reality resumes, but you have moved back 15 feet per turn.
You're going down a hallway.
So
just keep
going
getting further and
backwards
further
now.
away.
Everything is.
You're moonwalking.
I just think I'm faking. Like that's overwhelming. I didn't think I'd ever meet a
These
god.
legs.
These long legs, I don't understand how they work.
Yeah. So essentially, it's going to take you a while to find him.
Alright,
At least I'm still standing.
we're done in the library, aren't we?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
Cool.
I think we learned everything we're going to learn.
So I'm gonna go down and thank the librarian for her assistance.
Go for it.
And then I'm gonna be like, oh, well, do you just want to retrace our steps to get back to that one room?
Works for me.
So we're gonna go thank the librarian. Thank you kindly. You were very helpful. I appreciated it.
And she's like, well, I hope you have a good day.
Well, thanks, you too.
It was really high-pitched half voice.
Before we get lost in the corridors, how do we get back to? And then I described the room.
The reception
that we
room?
went to her. Yeah, the reception room.
Go out these doors, turn right, and 4 hallways down, turn left, take a right, then 4 hallways down, take another left. Straight down that hallway, it's the middle door on your right.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Got it!
As we leave the library, I'm gonna look at you and be like, "You got that right?"
We could ask somebody to guide us.
All right. So, do we make it back to that room, or do we need to
Do you stop someone?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. They guide you back, and as you're walking, you're passing a hallway. Roll perception.
34.
It's not that good, but it's a 25.
Okay. Both of you notice, you outright see it. You double take. You see that he is walking down the hallway, but it almost looks like he's walking backwards and then forwards again and then backwards.
Just
And-
Emyr?
overwhelmed.
Emyr?
Do
You good?
Do I perceive them?
Yeah. Let's see.
19.
Okay. Yeah, it breaks you out of this little delusional loop you caught yourself in.
Dream loop.
And the hallway that looked like it was miles long, all of a sudden is like really short. Like you look like you're 20, 30 feet, maybe 20 feet, maybe from the end of this hallway. Probably much closer than that. I say 20, but I have no sense of physical distance. Like me, myself, as a person, so 20 is probably too big.
You know about how long yard is, like from a football field.
Okay.
Emyr,
Oh, hey guys.
Take that as a
I think you just broke me.
are you
Okay, we're gonna say you're probably
I was just,
more like 10 feet down the hall.
Having a religious experience.
Oh,
It's no big deal.
do you
but
want to share, or is this something
Oh,
that
no,
you're
no.
keeping personally?
No, Ivonava wants to see us all. Where's Loch? She was with you guys, wasn't she?
No.
Where's Loch? Should we go find Loch first? Ivonava's in the chapel.
Oh, if we know where Ivonava is, let's find Loch.
Does anybody have any idea where she went?
I immediately asked the servant if he knows.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, hey, did you see Loch walk through? And then we're gonna describe her.
Okay.
Blue skin, green hair. Creepy
He
seahorse.
says that there's a blue-skinned person in the palace pool.
That sounds like her.
Cool. Can you give us directions to the palace pool, or can you take us there?
And he opens a door that actually, like, right next to you guys, and it's a stairway. And he walks down the stairway and tells you to follow.
Okay. Sure, I'll follow him.
Okay.
So as you follow him down the stairwell, it's a pretty wide stairwell, and you guys come down, and you see that there is a giant pool now that exists in the basement of this palace. And it's weird. You think that the palace is probably built on, like, a hill, because you know you are on the first level. Like, you guys, you were on the first level the whole time. But in this basement, you see that this back wall has floor-to-ceiling open archways that lead directly outside.
Hey, Loch.
Loch!
Time to get out of the water.
All of you roll
Persuasion.
investigation.
Oh. 8.
17.
33.
He notices.
Holy shit.
You notice that there doesn't seem to actually be anyone in the pool, but you do see some watery footsteps that have led from the pool out to, it looks like one of those open archways.
Like leading outside?
Yes, and it almost looks like someone has taken refuge behind one of the large pillars.
Loch, you back there?
Do you go over there?
Yeah, I think we're all
Yes.
looking over there.
So
I'm following
I'm
them.
cautiously going to do it. I'm afraid why she's hiding on a pillar, but yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go find her behind the pillar?
Yes.
When you do, you see her sobbing into her knees behind the pillar.
I'm gonna immediately like come down onto my knees. I'm gonna be like, Loch, are you okay? What's up?
I grew a fin! And she is just inconsolable at this point.
You grew up
Where?
My feet turned to fins!
Your feet are webbed?
Did you turn into a mermaid? One fin? Just one fin?
Like each foot is an individual fin?
Just one. One fin.
Oh.
Can you show us?
No, I don't want to do
Okay.
She is just like sobbing unconsolably.
Do you want to go? Do you want to leave this area? Get away from the pool?
And she starts nodding and
Alright.
she's still sobbing.
I'm gonna
Alright,
like
let's
hold
go.
up my hand so we can backtrack. And like just gonna try and shield her vision or the pool from her vision, and I'm gonna be like thinking in my head, this is the first time I've ever seen her upset around water. This is a
I'm
turn.
slightly disturbed.
And draconic damage.
She's like babbling on about how she couldn't swim and nothing was working.
I'm sorry, friend. We're gonna go find Ivonava now.
It's a sad day.
Poor Loch's probably been there crying for like 4 hours.
She's been down there for hours.
I'm gonna go find her. Oh god.
Her half-fish body. So she legit just has like a mermaid fin?
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
her
yeah.
So
legs are fused?
how's she walking right now? Like, how,
She-
what is she?
when-
Are we literally dragging her?
When she was
her-
actively in the water, she grew a mermaid tail, and when she came back out,
She got feet again.
she got feet again.
Interesting.
But she had no freaking clue how to swim because everything was different.
That's fair.
I kind of want to try it. Maybe I'll
Do
get
you
a
want to
fin.
go? Are you gonna
Are you
jump
gonna
in?
jump in?
I'll become a merman.
Are you gonna jump in the water?
You guys okay with it?
I'm not gonna stop you. I'm consoling
Loch,
Loch.
get Loch out of here, so she doesn't have to keep seeing it. But you want to stick with me for a second?
I'll watch.
Watch my. Okay. He's gonna watch me.
Okay.
How deep is the water?
5 foot at the deepest end.
Ain't not taller than me anymore. So there's a shallow end. No, I'm actually gonna say that. So there's a shallow end, like a public pool, like 3 feet.
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay. Then I'm just gonna strip down to my little skivvies, little underwear.
Okay.
Yep, my commando, and then just
Oh,
kind of slide on in. Just like ease my way in there, just so I'm like halfway, because it's the 3 feet mark. I'm 6 feet now, so it's like halfway up to me.
I'm blocking everything.
How does it feel? I'm a little
It
cautious.
feels
of
like normal water to you,
hmm?
and nothing happens.
Nothing.
No.
All right, we're going to go a little further. If you don't mind.
Yeah, because that's the problem.
I'm gonna go under and try to like swim.
You're swimming just fine.
Okay.
There was no change,
Disappointed.
except for the fact that you've now traumatized.
We're Rhunon,
Rhunon.
Dan Fearnet's down there. Is he watching?
He's kind of hiding, like his wing is covering his face a little bit.
All right, well, I come back up.
You're very pale. It's kind of unsettling.
Drop my long
Yeah,
way
the
back.
physiology of a halfling and the size of a man.
Yes.
Very confused.
I
Absolutely.
DM said yes.
Except for my black.
With your discolored skin.
Yeah, I'm half blue and half black.
I'm very confused.
Like, I'm not sure how this happened, but I'm not complaining.
Slightly traumatized.
I'm so
Can you,
glad I'm not
can you
there.
just help me get this on?
I think you got it. I think you got it.
Oh no, I've dropped it.
Oh no, I dropped the soap.
This belt just won't buckle. You sure you won't want to? Give me a little hand over here.
I'm sure.
Just get your finger right there.
No,
See-
no,
see-
I'm good.
see
I'm
mine?
good.
It's like tying a bow.
God said nothing about you.
God, I think we're just gonna have a conversation with you.
I just walk out. I just leave.
You're still my Rooney bear.
And I'm just
walking
saying, if this thing were black, this is what your little dragon looks like right now.
Phenomenal.
Yes.
There you go.
I'm standing at the top of the stairs and I see you come up. Are you like?
I look like
white
I've seen a
or-
ghost.
Okay, I'm gonna be like, and once again in Draconic because she's still crying. Are you okay?
I've seen things nobody should ever have to see.
Did he turn into a merman?
Nope.
Then what did you see?
Something should not be said.
I'm so confused.
That's fine. Take care of Loch.
Why don't you trade me? I'll go down and get Emyr, and then you can.
Yeah, go get Emyr. Go get Emyr.
So I'm gonna walk down the stairs while he's walking. I'm gonna be like, Emyr, put your clothes on.
I'm already dressed. But seeing it to you, I'm like, oh, it's only you. Alright. We gotta go now.
Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta go
All right.
find God.
Let's find the Lord. Ooh, I'll pray for her again. I had that word last time. Found her in a
So
jiffy.
while we go up, is that serpent still standing there? The one who we asked for directions?
He showed you down and then he left.
Okay.
That lucky guy.
I'm gonna say like, all right, let's go find Ivonava. Let's go ask somebody how to get to the.
He knows how to get there.
Okay. Well, we're
Does he?
following you.
Yeah,
you?
he straight down the hall. He didn't make it very far.
It was prayer. I'm still convinced. That's what happened.
So he's gonna pray.
Yep, so I'm asking Lord Ivonava, please provide me guidance and safety on my journey to
You did
you.
nothing.
She must not have it turned on.
She must not have it turned on.
True.
I'm just gonna tap your shoulder and it's like, it's alright. I pray and I don't get any response. The vast majority of the time.
Oh, okay, so it's normal.
Then you got the
Okay.
best response.
And then I got the best response ever. It's true.
But we still find him, right? Still find her.
Because she's just down the
yes.
hall.
Okay. Alright. We're all together. I found him.
All right.
What'd you say?
So,
What'd you say to her?
what? I didn't say anything. It's not my fault. She swam in some water, became a
legs turned
mermaid.
into a fin, like a fused fin. She couldn't swim, and she's traumatized because she couldn't swim in the water.
Must be a genetic thing, because I didn't do anything to me.
Okay.
Somebody else got traumatized though.
Sorry to hear that.
Rudy Bear.
And she's just sobbing.
She grabs Loch's hand. There they are.
I mean, Loch does like Ivonava.
So you
She does.
You guys are besties.
And she just holds onto your hand. She seems to be calming down, but she's not letting go of your hand.
Alright, so should we go and... Oh, how is your guys' individual things?
We learned a lot,
We
but
learned
not very much helpful. Some things were helpful.
Alright, Mushu. We saw something like Mushu.
I saw something.
Mushu
like
is the god of the dragons.
No.
That's literally what the book said.
Yep.
Can I read their mind and see if they're full of shit, like they're messing with me?
Read ahead.
Dirty 20.
Yeah, absolutely 100% honest.
Okay.
And in fact, you read their minds so well, you even see a flash of the emblem they saw that the dragons wear of Mushu. Oh, did I show you the picture? You saw it?
Yeah, I saw it.
We also found a way to find the dragons. They'll have this weird emblem that looks like Mushu tattooed on their neck.
Good to know. Alright. Anything else before we go investigate the warehouses and
I
stuff?
mean, like, we can update you with the other stuff on the way. What
Okay.
happened with you?
I'm gonna whip out my gun. I
it
got one of
loaded?
these. I don't think
What's
so.
that?
Okay, he points the barrel.
Oh, it looks like
Roll
this,
luck
and then I'm
for
going
me.
to point...
Every time you point the barrel at someone or something, roll luck.
Okay, that was one.
Is that a nat 1?
No, it's a 7. Or an L if you see it from the other angle.
It's a loss.
Which means love.
Okay.
He's lucky.
Yeah. So you, in your just gesturing of the gun, because you pointed that gun up, it ends up accidentally firing while you're looking down at it.
Oh, Jesus.
And it shoots right by your head.
It's not loaded anymore.
I'm gonna be like, can I see it? And I'm gonna very delicately take it and not point the end at anybody. And then I just saw like a propellant
It only
move
fits
out.
one.
And I'm gonna like glare at you, and then I'm gonna show Ivonava, and I'm gonna be like, this emblem. Because I don't know that you saw that.
No, he's spinning it and goofing off around with it. Okay.
Western.
Looks like a little red dragon.
It does. It does. Loch, would you like
This
to
is
see?
getting weird.
Yep.
And she like rubs her eyes and she looks at it. Mushy. What are you? She starts crying again.
Before you drop it.
I'm not gonna drop it unless I'm not gonna point it at anybody. But do we need to head back to that parlor room that we were in? Okay, so we're just gonna update you all on everything that we found out while in the library, like
Start
speed
sharing
round.
notes.
Okay.
Did you guys hear everything?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you have
I
any
did,
questions,
but it's
I have
okay.
notes.
Yeah, we'll kind of play along as it goes.
And it's nighttime, right?
Yeah. So at this point, I'll say you guys get back to the room, and when you do, no one and nothing is in there. Before we proceed, however, it is 5:05.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like
This is probably a good intermission point.
Okay. So do an intermission, then figure out food.
Yep.
Okay.
I just realized that I never took an allergy thing.
Oh,
Do you have Claritin on?
I do.
I got some in my car. I don't
We
want
will
to
be
go.
back momentarily after these messages.